Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am TheOutbackAl.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm Chibi Noob.
I'm Envy Jitters.
I'm CheerandCosplay.
And I'm Kozi.
And we're back with week 6. 6 straight weeks of the Mahou Shoujo Showdown. How are we all feeling? Feeling fatigued? We're nearly halfway there.
Wow.
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 Yeah. Wow, indeed. All right, so this week we had the Theater Kid Energy bracket and the Sup Brah bracket. We're going to name a champion from both of these that will go on to the Elite 8. We had Princess Tutu, Magical DoReMi, Shugo, Chara, and Cute High Earth Defense Club Love this week. Are we excited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. Wonderful. So, why don't we just get into it? I feel like we don't need a whole lot of preamble for some of these. These are shows we've watched before. So Princess Tutu, what happened this week? We got a little bit more information about what's going on. Duck is a duck, but is also not a duck. She's a duck who turns into a girl, who turns into a magical girl. So werewolf bar mitzvah yet again. We learn a little bit more about this whole Drosselmeyer thing and the different intros of what's going on with the prince and the raven. And there are shards all around town with magical, emotional feelings that are infecting other people. Also, animal people are a thing, and not just the cat, but also they're not that common, I guess?
Yeah.
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 And Duck has some decisions to make, because apparently if she falls in love, she dies? I don't know. No, wait, that might be a different show.
No, it's
No,
if she
you're
confesses.
It's also this one? Okay. So, a lot of stuff happened. Why don't we talk a little bit more on that plot? Yin, what are your thoughts on plot?
Overall, I liked these episodes. I liked that it did establish what you mentioned about the lore with the prince and the shards and everything, because I was wondering about that guy in the beginning. So I'm glad that we got that established, and I think it was an interesting piece of lore and really sets off what the rest of the plot's going to be like. So I feel like these 2 episodes really showed me what this series is going to have in store, and I enjoyed it. I liked the weird Hansel and Gretel thing. I think her doing her little dance therapy on people is fun as an episodic sort of routine, and the overarching stuff about giving the prince or whatever his personality back is good. I like that she's the hero tasked with saving him and he's more like the damsel in distress. I think it's a good role reversal. So yeah, overall I liked the plot of these episodes.
So I like these. I thought these sort of expanded the world a little bit more, these episodes, as far as plot-wise is concerned. Still very episodic, but the overarching plot is there, and we kind of get it piece by piece, even in the intro sections a little bit. I found Auntie Dorita to be a sort of silly and funny kind of storyline to have with that one. And I enjoyed the one with the cook as well. That was kind of like a Hansel and Gretel thing, but was very much more a story about loss because of the cook losing her husband and having to take over the restaurant, and things not really being there, and sort of all the food is cold, so now because the warmth has gone back into her heart that she can now cook food again and make it warm. I thought that was nice and kind of sort of touching. But yeah, I kind of liked where these episodes kind of went, and sort of getting things set up for later on down the line.
After episode 1, I was kind of ambivalent or indifferent about the show, but after these 2 episodes, I definitely liked it a lot more. Like you guys were saying, they expand the mythos of Duck, the world, the prince, everything, and I did like that. And I liked the 2 episodic stories that they presented, even if they're probably never going to answer why one random dancer is an anteater, but again, I guess it just probably comes to the territory.
Why is a random dance instructor a cat?
Oh, yeah, that is true. But yeah, otherwise, these episodes I thought were a lot better plot-wise and structure-wise, and they definitely answered some questions about some of the characters, but I'll get into that in the character section. But yeah, overall, I was impressed with the plot, that it intrigued my interest a lot more.
I don't disagree with anything that's been said yet, but so far the plot has been she needs to collect the shards of his heart, and there was only 5 of them, right? And she's found 3 of them so far, so I'm a little... 2? She's only found 2 of them so far? She's found 2 of them so far. So my suspension of disbelief, ignoring that I've already seen the show, I kind of forgotten it already. A little bit how is this show going to progress more than 3 more episodes? What else?
episodes.
What else are they gonna do to the plot? Because they're about to run out.
So for plot, it's very Monster of the Week themed, which is okay. Like, they have established, like, the overarching plot. But I am not a big fan of Monster of the Week stuff. I wish it had a bit more tying it together right now. Especially because I feel like, in terms of, like, the narrative setting in the world, we haven't gotten as much of that as I would like. So it feels like without like a strong plot driving it forward, it's a little aimless right now.
I guess I kind of agree with what you're saying a little bit, but I don't know that it's entirely aimless. There's clearly some sort of larger plot going on with the, I'm just going to call them the villains of the series, Muto's girlfriend Rue and his abusive boyfriend, which I keep forgetting his name. They are clearly working on something. I'm very interested to see where that's going. I kind of like Monster of the Week monsters kind of things, so that's kind of fun. I am so surprised by this show. The plot of this show is dance battle to resolve conflict of emotional distress. That is laughably ridiculous, and yet I'm taking it completely seriously every time it's happening. There was an anteater dancing up a sandstorm, and I was like, no, I am riveted. This is cinema right now. What the fuck is this show, and how is it doing this to me? That's kind of like, yeah, we're retrieving lost emotions and whatnot, and doing that sort of thing. That's all great. It's fantastic. I'm just baffled that I'm taking this so seriously, and I'm not questioning the anteater at all. Admittedly, there's already the cat, but it's also like the anteater showed up and like she's like, oh my god, an anteater. I'm like, okay, so you admit this is weird, and yet it doesn't feel weird. How did you do that, show? How did you do that? Anyway, that might be something that could be answered in characters. Chibi, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. So we kind of got a little bit more of our main four, a little bit more Drosselmeyer. And kind of like we're getting a couple of like, you know, miscellaneous characters because they are like more Monster of the Week kind of things. But this is like a magical girl show. So Monster of the Week is kind of like a thing for this genre. Princess Tutu herself is a character in the story. So like a lot of these people are also characters from the story of The Prince and the Raven. And Duck is Princess Tutu, but Princess Tutu feels like a character in and of herself because she feels very different from Duck. Because Duck is very kind of like silly, and it's not really in a bad way. But Princess Tutu feels like a far more elegant kind of character, and maybe it's just in her speech patterns. But I feel like she's practically a different person. Muto is becoming more alive because he just regained some emotions, namely bitterness and loneliness, but he is still a doormat, unfortunately. And then Rue and Fakir, who is Mr. Grumpy Man, they seem to know what's up with everything that is going on with Muto right now. So they've definitely have more of the situation like figured out. So I'm kind of curious to see where it goes with them as well.
As far as characters for me, first episode again, I thought Duck was kind of annoying, or at the very least so high-pitched, but these two episodes, I don't want to say she mellowed out, but I kind of liked her a lot better because we got to see her struggle, we got to see her overcome some things, you know, with her personality and with, you know, the struggles of trying not to transform into a duck. And I did like her transformations into Princess Tutu and solving the conflict dance battle style, so that was interesting. I liked that we got the answer of Muto of why he was so emotionless, because literally he got all of his emotions ripped out of him, so I'll take that answer. I will take that answer for now. Rue, I thought was fine. His butt buddy, I thought was fine. But again, I feel like he knows something that happened to him and he's being overprotective. Otherwise, he's just coming off way too dickish, so he has to know something. And then the other characters, they were, you know, the monsters you quote-unquote had to beat, but then they had their own resolutions. And the woman with her husband she lost her husband with the restaurant, I thought that was a sweet story for her. So one thing I did like was her supposedly best friends. They way to stick up to your friend, pretty much calling her a loser half the time. It's like, wow, way to stick up to him. It's like, oh yeah, she would never do this. She can't even do anything. It's like, great support system you have, Duck. But yeah, otherwise I'm a kind of a light yay with the characters.
The only note that I took was I don't remember how to pronounce it, Epine? The restaurant owner. She looks like a Muppet. I did like that Rue, you kind of get like villain vibes from her, especially the first episode. But in the second, I think it was the second, she loses her boyfriend, so she turns to Duck and she's like, do you want to be my dance partner? And they dance together, and it's really sweet. And I love that she can dance the male part very comfortably. Get you a girl that can do both.
A lot of people went dick out in these 2 episodes. First, Duck. Duck went dicks out many times.
Oh, damn. I thought you were using a metaphor.
No, quite
No, yeah,
literally.
you're right. Like, is this a new turn of phrase I haven't learned?
Muto went dicks out again, too. Do I remember exactly where? No. Somewhere in the 3rd episode, I think, though. The fucking music box lady. She's really fucking ugly, and she's like the epitome of purposefully not giving you information.
Unreliable narrator?
No. Like, when you're purposefully withholding it.
The opposite
And
of
then,
dramatic
like,
irony?
And then playing the,
Forced irony?
you must do this. Like, they give you, like, some vague, overreaching... There's no word for this!
A bitch?
Badly written.
Anyway, no.
I know what you're talking about, but let's just say we know what term you're thinking of.
Shout it out in the comments.
So, I don't like that. Like, it's always super annoying in plots when you have someone who's like, I know what's going on. I'm not gonna tell you shit. Duck got a lot of good characterization, but other than that, besides the characters we're never gonna see again, I do not feel like we got a lot of characterization in the other 3. One of those is by design. Like, we are not supposed to have characterization for Muto because he has no character. But, like, I really don't feel like we got anything for Rue and Fakir. And I feel like, for being the 3rd episode, not really kind of breaking into your other reoccurring characters is really dragging it out. Like, I feel like we could have just gotten something more for the other characters.
Maybe. I kind of agree with you and disagree with you a little bit. Like, first off, gotta say, Duck, what an adorable dumbass. I kind of love her as the protagonist. Muto is the first time I've seen a completely personality-less character who not only makes sense in context, but also actually kind of contributes to the plot in some way, because he's hilarious. I feel like I'm watching that episode of Fairly Odd Parents where Timmy wished away all of his emotions, and he's just, it's so funny. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
I felt like the whole time.
Like, it's kind of fantastic. I do like what they're doing a little bit with Fakir and Rue, because they're clearly conspiring. They're clearly evil. I mean, Fakir very much was always going to be evil. Rue is very villain-coded. I agree with you. And I do like the thing, that the dance and everything with Duck. But I'm going to be real with you. I know why she did that. Because she was doing it all to beat Aunt Idarina. Aunt Idarina got the best male dancer in the group. So to try to show that she was the best. But Rue got the worst dancer in the group and made her look good. That's why she's the best. It was all it's like subtly evil. Like, she's gonna be like the big twist villain, I think.
All according to plan.
Yes, exactly. She's the Light Yagami of this whole situation. Because I mean, I'm just guessing. I'm guessing she's the Raven. She's the raven-haired girl.
Well,
it's just very likely, and she clearly knows what's going on. Who else wouldn't? You know?
We'll get there.
We'll get there. But yeah, so yeah, I'm a yay here. I'm very much enjoying. I think that's a big improvement from where they were last time, and I'm liking it.
Yeah, I thought the characterizations were fun overall. I like the dynamics that they're setting up between, Rue and Fakir and Muto and Duck. And I do like how it seems like, I don't know if the two have like a plan or something, but I'm interested to see where it goes. Like they both seem like they're controlling Mewtwo in some way, or like
Controlling Mewtwo is the Pokemon in the first movie. We're well past that.
Either way, like they seem like they're, I don't know, trying to keep him emotionless or something. I don't know. Like they have some stake in it for some reason. I don't know if they took away his emotions in the first place or what, but like I'm intrigued to see what happens between them. I think she's obviously like pretending to be his girlfriend or something. Like I don't think she's really into him or anything. I don't know. But unless, I don't know. She's like a rival to Duck, I guess, but I don't know if she's actually like in love with him or anything like that. And I like, you know, the differences between like Duck and Princess Tutu. Like, you know, Duck has like the clumsy, like goofy personality. And then like she turns into the swan that is Princess Tutu, you know, and becomes like graceful and everything. And I definitely agree with Envy that I thought Duck improved a lot, because I really found her quite annoying in the first episode, especially she was just like always freaking out about Senior Muto or whatever. But in these episodes, I thought she was like pretty fun, and I didn't feel like she was as one note or like irritating as she was at first. So I think it was a very large improvement to me overall with characters, and I would probably give it like a light yay.
Yeah, she's freaking out over legitimate reasons now.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Envy, why don't you lead us into plot? Or, world building. It's kind of plot, but it's world building.
Yeah. And the reason why I didn't mention Drosselmeyer in characters, because I feel like him and Adel, the puppet lady, I feel like they were mainly just world building devices. Like, they pretty much are the ones that exposition dump the lore of the world and stuff like that. And I do kind of like the world building. Like, it pretty much sets up the main plot, the main focus of the show. Duck trying to bring back emotion to the prince while trying to avoid both A, not turning into a duck, and B, not trying to get her feelings across, because I guess she'll die if she tells him that she loves him. So, you know, there's that double whammy too. It's like a love that she can't attain. It's like a fairy tale. Oh wait, it is based off a fairy tale.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah, and to answer your question, CC, about the shards, even though you've seen this show before, so it's kind of redundant. I feel like maybe there's either more shards than 5, or some shards take multiple episodes to get. So maybe that's why there's 26 episodes.
Oh god, they're gonna Yu-Gi-Oh this shit.
But yeah, overall, I don't mind the world building. It set up what it needed to do for the world and its fairy tale premise. So yeah, I give it a light yay for world building.
He's got a hole in his heart, and so he just keeps dropping the same shards that they've already picked up. My big issue with these episodes, they introduce Anti-Dorina, and so like if it was just Mr. Cat, that would have been one thing, but now there's 2 characters that are just anthro animals that are allowed to exist as animals, but Duck isn't for some reason. She turns into a girl to go to class, and then she can't like let anybody know that she's a duck. Why is it different for her? Why can't she just be a duck?
Is it Disney rules, like where Pluto and Goofy are both dogs, but one is clearly more of a dog than the other?
I thought she was originally a duck, and then she ended up turning into a human. But maybe I'm wrong.
I think so, but like, why doesn't Auntie Dorina have to turn into a human to go to dance class?
That's fair.
It is quite odd. They did not explain this. Maybe they will.
It's like,
I honestly
think
don't
of
remember.
it like Goofy versus Pluto.
I just said that.
Oh,
Were
sorry.
you not? I'm so glad that you listen to me when I speak.
I'm sorry.
Can we think about it like Pinocchio, where everybody's normal, except there's also a fox who tricks you into joining the circus or something?
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to question it. And we're also living in fantasy land of like, this is, okay, what do you want? This is the same world Pinocchio lives in, probably.
Yeah, honestly, like, I didn't really think much about Annie Dorina myself either.
And it's weird, because Duck, like, is like, oh my god, that's an anteater, and nobody else notices. It's like, is there really going to be any consequences if somebody finds out that she's a duck?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. You know what it might be like? It's kind of
Like
like
an
whenever you
eater.
know how you like have Pluto and then Goofy, and then like they're both dogs, but just in case someone didn't hear me.
But there's Pluto and Goofy.
There is Pluto, but then there's Goofy. And where does Max fall with all of this? You know what I mean? And for that,
Mickey.
how about Pete? Let's
Well,
talk about Pete
Donald.
for a minute. Is that a
What
dog or a
is
cat? Is Pete a cat?
I thought it was
think
a
he's
bulldog.
He's got pointy
Wait, I thought
ears.
he's a cat too.
Yeah, I thought he was a
just,
bulldog.
It kind of gave
He
me
is a
cat because
bulldog.
it's like cat, dog, mouse. Is there something there?
Oh wait,
I
but
don't
his
know.
nose isn't really
Oh, I didn't
giving
think about
cat.
that.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just a
he is
really
dog.
large, flat-faced
Maybe he's
cat.
a French bulldog.
But let's talk about this. So you have Pluto and Goofy.
Okay, this is Patreon content. We don't need these
No, this is
episodes
just
to
me
go any
ripping
longer.
on Yin.
I was in outer
I'm-
space.
I'm literally right next to you, and I say these things, and you're just like, oh yeah, well, that thing. Cece, please continue.
I think I'm done. I just want to say I did hear a really good response. That kind of disturbing thing to the Goofy versus Pluto thing. I don't remember it though. I'm going to spend the rest of the episode trying to find this.
All right, well, let us know when you do.
Pete was originally a bear, but then evolved into a cat.
Okay,
Officially.
all right, he's a bear cat.
He's a bear.
I can see it a little bit.
Originally a
big,
bear.
like grizzly looking thing.
Oh,
Hmm.
Yeah.
bear cats are a thing.
Yeah, St. Vincent.
Yeah, I had the same kind of feelings on the world building in that it
So
doesn't make
you
sense
agree
that-
Pluto and Goofy are a weird thing?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really weird that a dog is getting enslaved in the universe where dogs can think and feel and communicate, because Pluto has shown he can communicate.
Yeah, I remember those shorts, man. Those are good shorts.
Also, doesn't Minnie have just like a regular cat?
She does.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even like a Pluto-looking dog of a cat. It's just like a regular
It's a
cat.
regular cat.
Yeah, so at
Wait,
this point,
he has a-
Annie
he has
Arena
a
is the
cat?
least weird thing about this show.
His name's Figaro. Yep,
Um,
Figaro. Who is also in Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, same cat.
All the same
Minnie's
universe,
cat.
man. All the same universe. You were saying?
They also just, again, I kind of went in on this. I feel like they're not really getting that far with the world building yet. They're kind of like making hints at stuff. And I do know this all eventually comes together, but what they have here, again, it's that one lady like, I know what's going on. There's a story here. You want to know what the story is? Go fuck yourself. So, like, just, like, how did story characters come out into the real world? Why do some people seem to be able to use magic just because they have the shard of someone's heart haunting them? Like, what even is going on with Duck, honestly? Was she Tutu in the story? Like, it just has more questions than answers right now, and I know it's only episode 3, but I wanted more.
It just raises too many questions.
I feel like I gotta disagree with you there, Kozi. I'm in agreement that I also wanted more, but I'm wanting more because I was getting more. I feel like last week we had a whole thing that was like, some people were on the, were like, I love Utena's world building. It's slow drip, like slow burn kind of stuff. And I was like, it's too slow. And people were like, Graham, you're dumping all the exposition at once, or like this kind of thing. This is the kind of slow burn that I like. We are being drip-fed lore, but I feel like every episode we're learning key pieces of information. And I don't know what the picture is yet, but there is a picture forming. And I did like that. We didn't get a lot of big exposition dumps, other than, there was a small one. There was a small one where Drosselmeyer's like, here's the rules of you changing, but I think that's an important one to have, just because she needs to know what's going on. And even now, even then, she doesn't entirely know what's going on. She doesn't realize how these transformations entirely work with, like, clothing or things like that. But, she's getting there, but she's also getting a little investigative-y, kind of like, I'm overhearing, this is something? I gotta look into this. What is it? I have no idea. I don't know either, but it's getting me very intrigued. I'm not only am I learning a little bit about the world building, I'm intrigued more about the world building. So I'm a yay on this.
And see, maybe that's where the difference is, though. Because I don't have that intrigue, because I already know where it goes.
Well, I don't, and I'm fascinated.
Yeah, I would agree. I like the kind of slow burn, but still, like, I feel like I'm getting fed enough information kind of world building it's going with. And I like the sort of fairy tale feel that it sets up with the creepy author, and it all feels very whimsical with how the fairy tale-esque stuff happens. And I don't feel like I really need an explanation for a lot of weird stuff that happens, because yeah, to me it just feels like a fairy tale.
Hey, have you ever thought about Pluto and
I think about it all the time. And I liked the surprise that like she's in a tragic story and everything. Like, I think that really sets up an interesting narrative thing about, okay, is she gonna like try to beat fate and beat the story and change the story, or like what's gonna happen there? Like, I think it's interesting that like they are characters somehow that have come to life, but at the same time they're real people. Like, I don't know, it's kind of like that weird Alice in Wonderland thing that we were watching, that atrocity, but like this one is done well, you know? It's like the good version of that concept.
I don't think you should even compare them at all.
But you know what I mean? It's the good version of that. So I really liked how the world building is set up, and I would give it a yay.
I'm also like liking how the world building is going so far, and I'm gonna be really honest, like it's very loosey-goosey, and honestly there doesn't really need to be a lot of world building because I feel like in fairy tales.
Haha, goose.
Goose, yes.
Have you thought about Pluto and Goofy?
Oh my goodness.
Cece's still thinking about Pete.
Who doesn't think about Pete? Yeah, that's a bear cat.
Sorry,
Right
that's a bear cat.
yeah.
They smell
that's
like
Pete.
butter popcorn.
But fairy tales are kind of like wishy-washy with their rules, so I'm kind of like, oh, this is an anteater? Okay, this is fine. I'm not gonna question it, because I feel like there are a lot of times in stories where it's like, oh, you'll have this anthropomorphic animal character that just starts talking to like our protagonist, and you're kind of just like, okay. And that's what this felt like, and I'm okay with it. Yeah.
All right. Cece, why don't you talk a little bit about production? What'd you think?
The animators did their research. They did a good job animating ballet. They do reuse a lot of their animations, but I mean, it's not like other magical girl shows, but I'm not like the other magical girls. I don't beat people up.
We dance our feelings away.
Yeah, they're dance steps.
It's Footloose,
Which,
but
like,
magical girls.
It's like, the dance steps get reused often, so like I can see why they do that, and I think that they put enough research into the initial animations that it does not bother me. They're pretty ballerinas.
Just a little bit of correction. It was not animators doing their research. It was the original authors and mangaka, because a lot of their animation of the ballet, especially in the classes, was just stills. It was not animation, it was just pictures. Why are you looking at me like that? So, like, a lot of the elements where you would expect to actually see the ballet, we're not really seeing them move. And then the other times where Princess Tutu is doing ballet, it's the same shit we've already seen. I just wanted them to animate like the other ballet. Like, there's ballet happening literally all the time, everywhere in this universe. And one of the good things about it coming over from manga format to anime was going to be, oh my god, we get to actually see the ballet. But we didn't get to see it. And I have very strong feelings about that because I was excited.
I still think this show looks good. I like all the characters. They each feel unique, especially like Duck. Especially these episodes, I really enjoyed her animation and stuff. With how Duck, like, she acts just on her own, and like the character design I think is really good. I do like the little details of like whenever she's dancing in class, she can't dance on point, but when she's Princess Tutu, she's on point. And all that sort of stuff. Yeah, maybe there could have been a little bit more dancing and a little bit more stuff involved. But also, this came out when? In the 90s?
2000s.
2000s, wow. Feels like the 90s for some reason.
Yeah, this was like 2002.
The dub is starting to grow on me a little bit more. I think the scripts are getting a little bit better with like some of the comedic elements for, especially like the civilian sections. I'm calling those the civilian sections whenever we're not going full dance battle for the soul of the prince kind of thing. The music, I mean, I love classical music, so that's kind of fantastic. I think overall, I'm a yay here. This is a really nice show to watch, frankly.
I felt pretty meh about the production. I think the animation is fine, but it doesn't really impress me that much. I think the dance scenes are nice for the most part. I mean, it's not like really fancy animation or anything, but I think it looks like whimsical. I kind of like the style, but I don't know. It just doesn't do that much for me. I do like the music. I think it works really well, especially in the context. But I don't know. I'm just kind of in the middle about production.
I like the voice acting. The dub is honestly quite funny. I mean, a lot of the music is classical music, but I think like it generally works. Honestly, the fact that like we're not really seeing a whole lot of dancing is something that I honestly didn't really even notice, but mostly just because I'm like, I guess for me, normally when I think about ballet, I think more about like the dynamic poses rather than like the actual like dancing footwork. So I wasn't really even noticing that. But I think this is like good for production for like an anime from the early 2000s. So I'll give this a light yay.
To me, it's above average for its time period. Like the animation, the art style, I think it's fine for what it is. I do agree with both Al and Kozi in different ways when it comes to the dancing and the animation. Some of the dancing I liked, and then some of the times it was the same movements, so maybe that's just their startup attack, who knows. The big thing that I will say about this show, for better or worse, is that I don't mind classical music, and it does feel like I'm watching an anime ballet. If that's something you're into, then that'll be a home run for you. I've only seen a ballet maybe once or twice in my life, so I'm not going to say I'm a fan, but I'm not going to say I'm not a fan either, so it's something different, and I'll say that.
All right, you have said that, but now we must say our final thoughts. Kozi, why don't you start?
I did not actually write anything down for this, but just talking about it, now, I think, and this is something that's not like I didn't already know, I think this show really reinforces for me that I really do prefer manga over anime adaptations. And the reason I'm maybe so harsh on it and don't enjoy it is because I had like really high expectations of what it could be, and it is not what I envisioned, which makes me sad. I just think in converting to a different medium, they missed a lot of opportunities.
I think on some level, we've all, just as people who have consumed a lot of media, have felt that way about plenty of adaptations, regardless of whether it's anime, TV, or movies. So I feel like we can all feel you on that a little bit. That being said, I think the show had a strong start last time we watched it, and I think it's building on its momentum. I think the story's progressing. It's slow, but it's slow in an interesting way, and I'm looking forward to seeing like what's happening with the characters, what's going to be happening next, what's this conspiracy thing, what emotions are going to have with these like dance battle kind of things. And also like I'm realizing this might just be like a trope of the genre more than anything, but it almost seems like we're doing therapy through this thing. Like, as someone who's very used to like Power Rangers, where it's just like blow up the thing because it's bad, a lot of these shows seem to be more like, you're going through something very difficult. Let me help you by blowing you up, and then you'll be okay. And I'm like, damn.
The Naruto method.
Well, no, the emotional healing comes after you kick their ass completely. Like, this one actually had therapy in the middle of kicking their ass.
Okay.
It's like, that's the key difference. But no, I see where you're coming with that, and I do like that. You know, we're not so different when you think about it. I know we just fought about Pluto and Goofy and everything, but when you really come down to
We're
it,
not that different.
we're not that different, you and me.
Yeah.
I went through a lot as a kid. Did you go through a lot as a kid?
Whose ass is she kicking at this point?
She kicked Aunt Eaterina and the crazy bug-eyed lady.
She didn't really fight them, though.
She dance battled them and gave them the therapy they needed to deal with their emotional issues.
Is it a battle or is it like a dance
I want to call it
together?
dance battle because I want to include a clip from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Put it together.
What are you doing?
Dance off, bro. Me and you. Come on. Subtle. Take it back.
No, but it's not really
Thank you.
battle.
Thank you. That's been on my head the entire fucking time.
What are you doing?
They're not. They're not fighting.
They're not
at-
fighting.
I know.
They dance together.
I know they're not fighting. I know it's a duet. I know it's a whole thing. But at the same time, in a weird way, it's
Let us have our moments.
let me have my
Let
moment.
us have our
This
moment.
is for the boys, okay? This moment is for the boys.
Yeah.
And the boys
Okay.
liked this. This is my final thoughts are a yay.
Cece, you're one of the boys. Is it for the boys?
No, it is not. Listen, I met Peter and oh god, what's her name?
Gamora?
Gamora. Yes, I met them at Disney World during the marathon. The lady in front of me, she was getting her picture taken, and she was like, "Dance battle," and Gamora looked at her and just went, "No."
Okay, well, Gamora
So
doesn't
stern.
dance. That's a Peter thing. The dance battles are for the boys.
Gamora said it's not for the boys.
Big Gamora energy here. No.
But if she would have asked Peter, he's one of the
he
boys.
didn't dance either.
But
He's
that's
just
because his
like,
girlfriend
okay,
said so.
keep
He's
running.
whipped.
Well, they weren't dating in that movie yet. They didn't date until the end of the second film, so.
Gamora said no.
This was last January, so I think
Uh,
it's canon.
They're broken up again, though.
Oh, it's
Oh.
always something with them. Someone else give their final
Spoilers.
thoughts.
I liked this. I thought it was cute. I thought the ballet stuff was good. I like the characters. I'm intrigued to see where this goes. I think the episodes keep improving, so I would give it a yay.
I will also give it a yay. I will say that, like, I am intrigued. This is sort of like I've been aware of the show for a while, at least since I was, like, really sort of getting into anime. And I just want to see where this goes. And I'm like, you know, I kind of like the characters. And, like, I just am kind of like, I've been taken in by the whimsy.
Wait,
so yeah.
wait. Chibi, I thought you'd seen this before.
I have seen only a little bit of it.
Oh, okay.
I
I'm
kind of assumed
swear.
I assumed it too.
There are quite a few things on this list that I have not seen, and this is one of them.
This one just feels very up your alley for some reason.
I mean, I probably would have watched it had I been able to find it as a child.
Fair. Very fair.
I went from not caring whether or not it went on in the tournament after episode 1 to if it goes on, I would be interested in watching episodes 4 through 6. Because, yeah, episodes 2 and 3 I thought were a big improvement for me. And, yeah, I had a good time watching it. I was pleasantly surprised. So, yeah, I think that's a good sign.
Yeah, this is yay for me. It's cute. I like ballet. I wrote down I have been extra dancy lately. I think that's entirely to blame on this. And I have bad handwriting, but Kozi was like, have been extra dongy lately. I'm like, what does that mean?
I told you, it's for
I
the
don't
think I was
boys.
trying to say.
I don't know, but I'm putting a picture in chat to shame.
Yeah, you know what this says to me? You know what this says to me? Princess Tutu is for the boys.
It does not help that my hands are super shaky. Holy fuck.
Do you want me to take
No,
the
I
photo?
got it. Tell me what that word says. Not research.
That's a dong. That's a dong right there.
That 100% says dong.
That's a dong. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where is Dancy?
That is dong.
Extra dong lately? Sounds like it's for the boys.
Where is the Y?
I don't really do the tops of Ys anymore. It's just
Yeah, your
the
L
ta-
and your
like, you can
Y
s-
have become one thing. It's a lie.
Yeah.
Everything is a
That's how
lie.
I
The
do all my
dong was a
Ys.
lie, let's be honest.
I thought it was like, yeah, you know what? A lot of people did get naked.
It is at best dang.
That's an O.
That's a no.
I mean, I could see the A.
It could go either way.
It could go either way,
But
and
it's not
definitely
dance.
it's definitely going dong.
Anyways, thank you for the vindication.
Sure. Did you have any other final thoughts, Cece?
No.
While we're just ripping on you.
It's been extra dong lately.
No, we've all been there. We've all. I don't want to keep talking about that. Okay, so why don't we instead talk about Princess Tutu's competitor for this week, the other last standing member of the Theater Kid Energy bracket, Magical DoReMi. So last week we met Dory, who fucked up hard and turned a witch into a blob, and now she's got to become a witch to unblob the witch. And now she's doing witch stuff, and she's not good at it, but maybe getting better, but not really. She did a Freaky Friday with her friend, and she created a robot clone of her other friend who wasn't a friend yet, but is a new person in town who's definitely going to be your friend, because she's also in the intro to the show. When are they going to be?
Well, no, the robot clone was of the friend's father.
Yes.
Dad. Yeah.
Yes, made dad clone to come to school day, but real dad Goku showed up. That's right. This all made sense. I'm going to edit this like it makes sense.
Wow.
Oh shit, I'm the one who's supposed to go first on this one.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, talk about the plot.
Yeah, talking about the plot. Yeah, the plot's it's going to be an episodic show. I think we've hit the stride of like most of these shows for the duration of this tournament are going to be pretty episodic, being that Magical Girl shows for the most part are episodic. Some are a little more serialized than other ones, but this is an episodic show. We're going to be like taking small situations with Dory and we're going to be blowing them out of proportion by using magic. I do love how her mentor, I'm just going to call her Slappy the Squirrel because that's all she reminds me of. I do like that Slappy tells her, hey, why don't you just talk to someone? And she's like, no, I'll do magic about it. Like, magic should be your last resort. Yeah, but I'm going to do magic about it. And it's like, okay, you're going to screw things up when all you had to do was say something to someone. But it's fun. And honestly, there's a lot of interesting things you can do with that. I did not think we were going to get a Freaky Friday plot this early. But happy surprise. I sometimes really enjoy those stories. You know, even though it's simple, it's still very entertaining. I'm a yay.
Yeah, I really liked the plot here. I wasn't that invested in the Freaky Friday episode, but I still thought it was nice. I think sometimes they want to beat me over the head with their lessons, and I think it's because it's a children's show, so I can forgive it. They kind of go out of their way to be like, oh, I need to be a good friend after my teacher said I need to be a good friend. You know, it's it's a little silly, but since it's a little girl show, I can accept it. But I did like the dad episode. I got some good chuckles out of that one with the doppelganger dad. And I think it just the little misadventures and miscommunication that she goes through is fun. And she always has good intentions, but she ends up doing silly stuff. It's it's very a kiddish show, but it's a good kiddish show. I feel when I was younger, I would have enjoyed this a lot. And I still think it's fun to watch regardless. I think it's a really well done show overall. So I enjoyed the plot for these 2 episodes. I would give it a light yay.
Oh shit, your epidermis is showing.
Yeah.
I had you for half a second. I saw it.
I also enjoyed these 2 episodes. It's been a while since I've seen this, and this was a nice little revisit. I sort of vaguely remember the episode about trading places with Rayanne, and just sort of kind of it being a be careful what you wish for, but also sort of an episode of them kind of getting to know each other a little bit better as friends, Dory and Rayanne. And then the introduction of Mirabelle and her dad, and that just sort of sets us up to get our 3 witches for the power of 3. And kind of, gets their friendship and dynamic just sort of going, just so we have it, which Mirabelle's a good addition to the cast. I'll get to that more though when we actually get to characters. But yeah, I enjoyed these 3 episodes. 2 episodes.
We can kind of count the first one a little bit,
Yeah, what everyone else was saying. I guess the thing that surprised me about these 2 episodes was that I actually cared about the resolutions and what was going on, because, yeah, the Freaky Friday episode, the main draw is that you switch bodies, you switch places, but, it was life lesson for, what was her name, Rayanne?
Rayanne.
Rayanne, yeah, it was a lesson for her to, not take your family for granted, and, I liked that. And then the Mirabelle episode with her dad.
Oh,
I'll
shit.
talk more about
I just
what?
figured out DoReMi. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's in their
I
names.
almost brought that up the first time we watched it. I was like, no, that's too obvious. Everybody saw that.
I thought her name was
Well, okay,
DoReMi and they
okay.
just call her Dory.
So in
Oh,
the original
I'm sorry.
Japanese, she is DoReMi. Dory is DoReMi. In this,
Oh.
she is
Okay.
Dory, and then Rayanne is Ray, Mirabelle is me.
I'm sorry, Envy. Please continue. Ignore my dumbassery.
No, you're good. I'll talk more about her and characters, but I was a little worried that I was gonna hate Mirabelle, but then once they figured out, her backstory with her, her dad, her trying not to be a burden on him, and the dad with multiple jobs, single parent type of thing, and I did like the. It was cheesy, yes, but it was a good kind of cheesy. The resolution of the episode, and yeah, the whole clone thing it didn't matter at all, but it was still kind of funny at the end. The other two just having an existential crisis over the clone that just literally exploded right in front of them. If this wasn't a TV-wise show, that'd be really morbid when you think about it.
Could you imagine the therapy Mirabelle would need?
I mean, we've covered Magical Girl shows do therapy through dance battles. Because it's for the boys.
Yeah, but yeah, overall, I was pleasantly surprised with the plots for these episodes.
For plot, I just wrote none. I was struggling to see the overarching plot of the show, but each of the episodic plots served their purpose. It kind of reminded me of Judy B. Jones.
Yeah.
Just the little stories, each one has its own little thing going on.
And
I don't know,
equally,
maybe it's just
and
the age.
equally the protagonists are dumbasses.
Yeah.
Yes. But she has a photographic memory. That was her thing.
Am I thinking of a different one?
Dory has a photographic memory?
No, Janie B. Jones.
No, you're thinking of Cam Jansen.
Yeah, because she was a camera.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Judy B. Jones.
I was going to say, Judy B. Jones, I think, just got herself into situations and just had to learn a lesson to get herself out.
Yeah, Judy B. Jones always took everything literally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think you're thinking of Amelia Bedelia.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
Amelia Bedelia more so.
Yeah.
True. Judy
Judy B. Jones was just a kindergartner.
Yeah, she was just a little kid.
Well, yeah,
then
but
she
they all
became a
take
first grader.
everything literally, kind of. I think all the titles were here's this very common phrase. I think it's literal.
That's fair.
I remember one specifically because I had a little brother, a new little brother at the time was my little brother's a monkey or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, not literally.
Yes.
She said, your little brother, he's as cute as a monkey. It's he's not actually a monkey. It's a baby.
I don't know,
just got
babies
a
look
lot
kind
of
of messed
hair.
up.
Damn it, Judy B. Jones. He's just
she
got
kept,
werewolf
trying to
disease.
She kept trying to sneak into the nursery to see if he had turned into a monkey or not.
Yeah. Our walkie, you know what? I actually now have a nephew that is as cute as a monkey, and I need to get him some books. So this is actually helpful for me. Thank you. Please continue your thoughts on DoReMi.
That was it.
Oh, that was it? Okay.
I see where you guys are getting. It's episodic. To that, I raise you. Is it actually episodic, or did we just actually get to know the characters better and each one had a different focus? We can't really say yet because we haven't really gotten any overarching conflict, which there will be. We have hints of it, but we haven't established an antagonist for the series yet. I don't think that having character study episodes makes it episodic necessarily, but I really enjoyed I'm the George Lucas school of writing things. I like when you go
You like to talk about sand?
Yes. I like when you go into too much detail. I like having things really fleshed out. So the fact that we are just really hammering in on who these girls are before we go off and have adventures with them is good to me. I like that as a plot.
I did agree. I do agree with that too.
With the sand?
No, with the getting to know the characters thing.
Okay.
I agree with the sand. I hate sand.
It's coarse.
Yeah, I hate
rough.
sand too.
It gets everywhere.
He's not wrong.
Wait, am I the only one who likes sand?
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Good exfoliator.
That's great, but it still gets everywhere. How about we get into characters? Who's next? Hey, Yin, are you next?
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yen is next. Yes, Yen is next.
What's your thoughts on sand?
So, characters.
But what about Pluto?
What about Pluto? Yeah.
And his relationship to Goofy. And what do you think their thoughts on sand are?
I found it, but this needs to be an off-pod discussion.
Okay. We'll
Oh,
talk about it
okay.
as we're still talking about your dong.
Okay, so for characters, I think they're all really cute and likable. And I think, like you guys were saying, they did a good job of fleshing out each of like the main three girls. You know, they give focus to all of them. I feel like we got to know Dory a lot in the first episode, and we continue to know her a lot throughout them. And then we got, you know, the little glasses girl in the second one, and then we got Mirabelle, I guess it was, in the third one. So I feel like each girl gets their own little episode, but at the same time, like, we get more of each of them as we go along, and I feel like they work really well as a group, and I liked, you know, just how they are together. I also like that they have parents that are like have their own personalities and stuff. I don't know, like, their parents feel present and like people, and I don't know if it's just because they're like 5, but I like it. I enjoy that. It's very unusual for anime. And I continue to like the little witch outfits and stuff. So yeah, I have no complaints whatsoever about the characters. I think that's definitely one of the show's strongest points. So I'm gonna give a yay to that.
Yeah, I will also give this a yay. I'm gonna be honest, Kozi, like, I didn't really mention too much about, like, character stuff in plot because I was saving it all for this section, because I felt like that was more where that needed to be. So, I'll go back to also agreeing with Yin, because yes, we did really establish, like, Dory and her personality and the fact that she really wants to be a witch and she wants to do all the things, but then is also kind of, like, very impulsive and, you know, does a lot of things without really thinking. And then for episode 2, we established Ran and her more reserved personality, which is, you can kind of definitely really see, like, that these kids are very much influenced by their parents, like, based on how they act, because Dory's family is very, like, you know,
Mine?
I guess I would... What?
Mine? It's like my family.
A little bit loud and gregarious and just kind of like steak. Whereas Rayanne's family, I feel like, is a little bit more doting and also sort of like not necessarily reserved, but it definitely feels like they are more reserved than Dory's family. And then Mirabelle, who is, you know, a bit of a wisecracker, and her and her dad, and sort of establishing like her relationship with her father and sort of like their whole familial situation, and kind of how she's like very independent, you know, and, you know, wants to make sure that, you know, like her dad doesn't have to worry about her so much. We also do a good bit of like establishing like Dory and like her empathy, just sort of like with her friends, because like we kind of see like, you know, she clearly like, you know, seemed to have bothered Ran in the second episode, and she kind of was talking to her teacher like, hey, so I think I did this, you know, what should I do? Sort of thing, kind of like, you know, wanting to like, you know, be a good friend to her. And like these first 3 episodes, like they establish our characters, but the third episode basically sort of like gets our friendship between the 3 girls going, and kind of gets that set up for at least like a good chunk of the series, because like they are our main 3 until we get other people who come along, but we're not going to be seeing them for a hot minute. Because a lot of the series, like, yes, the original series is like titled after Dory's character DoReMi, but the show itself is about the 3 of them. So, yeah.
So, just a quick question. How old are these girls supposed to be?
They're 8.
Oh, yeah, because the only reason why I asked that is because when it comes to characters, Dory to me, half the time is a little shit, and then half the time she is fun. But yet again, at the same time, if you give most 8-year-olds unlimited access to magic, they're gonna want to do that to solve all their problems. Hell, I would probably do that, and I'm 30 years old, so what do I know?
Would you say that you're giving them unlimited power?
Yeah, okay. Rayanne, she's the typical quiet, reserved girl, but I still didn't mind her. Mirabelle, at first, I thought, again, she wasn't a little shit, but a different kind of little shit compared to Dory. But as the episode went along, I did warm up to her a lot more. Her dad was, the typical anime dad that's too busy to watch their kid, but he does mean well. Dory's family's wild, to say the least. Like, the sister gets so shocked when she switched bodies. It's like, who are you? What did you do with my sister? And then Rayanne's parents are like, oh, we got such a precious child. If anything touches her, we need to call a doctor immediately. So that was kind of amusing. Basically, what I'm saying is that it's a kid show. And as far as a kid show goes, it's fine with the characters.
You guys went so in depth, and my notes are just, the hit girl sucks. And her dad is like an old Astro Boy. If Astro Boy was a single father.
I was gonna say a Japanese Tintin. Did anyone else get that?
Yeah, they look pretty similar. I'd say it's a good comparison. You know what? I guess this would go in characters. I think the reason I'm thinking of Junie B is because of the body swap episode when Dory goes to Rayanne's house. She's just like, whoa, you live in a mansion. Everything is so fancy. It was reminding me of the book where Junie B and that Grace go over to Lucille's house for a sleepover. And they're all like, whoa, your house is huge. You have a chandelier. Your plates are so breakable. And they break everything.
And we never went over there again.
Yeah.
The end.
Cece was kind of saying that to me while you guys were going through your stuff. So I showed them my notes for character, which was, aw, I feel so bad for Rayanne. She misses being rich. I like the hot teacher. Is this the Dead Moms Club?
I don't know. The series is still young.
I do really like that Dory's whole thing, or Rayanne being in Dory, I guess. What tipped her family off is she was actually being helpful instead of combative. They're like, I'm sorry, you want to set the table? Who the fuck are you? And then her dad stopped caring because she showed an interest in fly fishing. Which it's really sweet. On top of not often having alive parents, we don't often see the healthiest relationships with parents in anime. So, the fact that we have this dad and he just wants to share his, weird interest with her, his hobby. And,
Get a cooler hobby then.
You know what would happen to him? If he was in Magical Destroyers, he'd be in jail. Because he's a fly fishing otaku.
Yeah.
Would you be a yarn otaku?
Oh, yeah.
Right to jail, right away.
Probably.
I don't know, because I settle for acrylic. The snobby I need 40% silk and
Otakus settle.
60% alpaca.
Cece, I love you, but you knit literally everywhere you go. You literally knit it during movies while the movies are playing.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
She's knitting right now.
How is she gonna finish the scarf if she doesn't? Check in the comments about the scarf. Do the comments for the scarf. Make sure you like and subscribe.
She's not even working on the scarf.
No. She's definitely working on the scarf right now. Look, listen to those little needles going right now. You hear that? Ting, 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 ting. That's that scarf being made. You want to get yourself in there. Get down in the comments. Talk about the show that you want this to move on is the weekend. Blah, blah, blah. Go to that Google Doc. Please continue.
So, I really like that they're establishing the whole kind of, I keep bleeding into the other sections. They're building an actual world of believable people. It's not just Dory, Rayanne, and Mirabelle who are getting these really deep character moments. It's kind of applying across the board. That's it. I'm done.
So I'm definitely in agreement with you. hot teacher is hot.
Yeah.
100%. I identified a lot more with Dory than I was expecting to. Not only is my family loud and very insulty in a fun way, but they would also freak the fuck out if I ever did the dishes. Also, nothing for nothing. This is the first note that I had. Dory says something to her friend about like, oh yeah, I love the like, you remember the shampoo with the commercial where she smells the shampoo and then she's riding a unicorn? I'm like, dude, I also love the Old Spice commercials. I'm on a horse.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm pretty sure this was a 4Kids dub.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. I might be Dory. I don't know. Oh boy.
I mean, Dory herself definitely has like some ADHD energy.
Yeah,
I think,
you know, and
a
I
little
don't.
bit.
We've talked about Patreon
Yes, you
content
do.
so many goddamn times. Yeah, so, but like, getting back to the point, we got to meet some more of the extended cast this week. And I like them. They seem unique and interesting, and they each kind of have their own thing going on. Even the background characters, who are a little bit annoying at times, like, yeah, you're going to be useful for something at some point. We got a lot of magic coming our way. Some antics can get a little annoying at times, but I think for the most part, they're pretty enjoyable. So, I'm a light yay. You know what? No, hot teacher is hot. I'll give it a full yay. Chibi, tell us about your world building thoughts.
I didn't really have too many, because for world building, I'm mostly focusing on like more of the witchy aspect of the world when I really think about world building. And the one thing that I really caught on was the fact that there were going to be tests. And Dory's going to have to do tests, and she hates having to do tests. But I feel like it's just sort of establishing like what it's gonna take to actually like become a full-fledged witch instead of just like a witchling, and kind of sort setting up a little bit of stakes that she is going to have to actually like try and not actually mess around and actually take magic seriously a little bit in order for her to actually like become a witch. So I feel like this is a little bit of a character thing as well, but I feel like it's a good way to establish like, hey, here are some goals to like work towards so you can actually become a witch.
To me, there really wasn't much world building in these episodes other than, fleshing out the characters of the world like Kozi was saying earlier. But as far as, traditional world building, we got the, you have to take a certain amount of tests before you become a witch, and you got the thing from the last episode where you got a certain amount of beads or whatever that count for your magic, and you got to refill them up, and apparently they're expensive. You got to buy them, I guess. Can't just make them, you got to buy them. So witch capitalism, and you also can't tell people you're a witch, otherwise you become a blob. So I imagine then Dory's going to be like, screw it, I'm going to take you two, I'm going to show what I am, and then you're going to become witches too, and that's our show. So boom. Yeah, it's alright.
I really liked it when Dory transformed and then appeared Rayanne to Freaky Friday with her. And she was like, oh, Dory, you changed. And she's like, no, I'm not Dory. She's like, you're clearly Dory in another outfit. I feel like a lot of magical girl shows just try to be like, oh no, they look completely different.
Some shows do something to try to help with that.
We'll get there. But I like that they acknowledge that she's just wearing a dress and a silly hat. Yeah, that's all I got.
They keep hinting at like this much larger magical society. We haven't really gotten anything on it yet. Like I said, I do think fleshing out a lot of the cast goes a long way into world building. Also, like, it has pretty firmly established, like, outside of the magic stuff, this is a pretty normal slice of life. I wish we had more magic at this point, but we will get there. We are going slow, low and slow. So, like, I guess it would be kind of overall a meh, because, like, the world that they have showed us is fleshed out enough, but they keep giving us, like, glimpses of this other world without really showing it to us yet.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with you there. I think, I'll say this, because I think you were mentioning a thing about, like, this isn't really an episodic show, and we were all saying that it was. I think it feels like an episodic show, because we're really only focusing on like one spell per episode. Do you know what I mean? Like one was the change my look thing, and then the other one was the clone thing. And so
I'm
maybe
sorry,
that's
she
why.
also said, make me look like a butterfly.
All right, that's kind of just an
and shrunk
extension
herself
of
down.
It's kind of just an extension of the previous episode because she learned that spell or learned how to do that thing. So, yes, it's continuing a little bit, but maybe that's why it feels a little episodic. And it is like, there's a lot you can do with magic just from a general imagination standpoint. We haven't done a whole lot yet. I agree, I would like to see a little bit more magic. I'd like to know a little bit more about these witch tests. I feel like you're hinting at stuff, but not really giving us a whole lot of like the larger what's happening here. It's not bad by any means, but it hasn't been much more than the first episode was. So it's pretty standard and kind of whatever. So I'm sort of a meh.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I didn't really see much world building in these few episodes, which is fine, but it's kind of hard to judge it on that because there just wasn't much of it. So I'm just kind of neutral about it. Probably just a meh.
Yeah. So, how we feeling on production? Envy, why don't you give us your thoughts?
It's alright. I mean, the animation's cute and bubbly. It's, a kid's show, so it's got the bright colors, the cheery atmosphere, the whimsy that you would think. So, for that, it's fine. I could totally see a little kid watching this, growing up and loving it, wanting to dress up as the girls for Halloween or whatever, and have the little toy wands and stuff like that. So, I think it's a good advertisement if we were doing this for advertisements. Yeah, collect them all. But yeah, it's fine. One thing I will say, and I didn't realize that this was a 4Kids dub, but now it makes sense. But it doesn't really count towards my overall thoughts of the show because you probably shouldn't count the opening, especially it's 4Kids. They probably changed it to all hell from the original Japanese opening. But the opening to this show reminded me of what you would see from PBS Kids. Like it felt like the shows that I grew up watching on PBS Kids, like Dragon Tales, Franklin, Little Bear, all those types of shows.
Okay, first off, half of those were on Nickelodeon, so watch yourself.
I was gonna say, I'm like, Little Bear was on PBS? I thought that was Nick Jr.
Little Bear and Franklin were both Nick Jr. Watch yourself.
Yeah.
Well, they did too, but they showed a little bit on there too. So, but yeah, it reminded me a lot of that. So, yeah. Didn't mean to. I liked all those shows. I wasn't saying
you
I
didn't
didn't
say you didn't like them. You better put some respect on where they come from.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. One of my notes that I did not write down was the intro is driving me crazy because it sounds exactly like another song that I cannot place. Like the first line, I'm like, I know this song. Where do I know it from? And then the second line, I was like, oh no, it's a little bit different. What does it sound like? It's going to drive me insane. My other note is one of the spells, the buttons she pressed to activate it on her
arc reactor, her chest piece.
Sensei. It was like, and I was like, oh, a pirate's life for me. What? That's not your song.
For production, we do have a lot of reused animation, but they do small changes to it to try and at least keep it fresh. Like, whenever her little arc reactor is spitting out her wand or her broom, when she was a butterfly, they changed the color of the outfit as it was spitting it out. When she's putting in the songs, the finger movements are usually the same, but they do usually change the tune. The opening's a fucking bop. I love the opening. Ba-ba, ba-ba. The animation feels very dated. It is a little ugly. I think we can all admit that. Yes, it's cute, but it's a little ugly. They're a little uncanny valley. But overall, they did a pretty good job. Also, the 4Kids is I was gonna say it's a dub here.
It's a dub.
It's a dub. It was very good at localizing.
Yeah, first thing I wrote down was that theme song is catchy as fuck. I don't know that I want to like it, but it will be in my head, no matter what.
You've got a secret you can't tell.
Is that Dragon Tales? Dragon Tales, Dragon Tales. Something.
Almost time for Dragon Tales.
Is that it? Is
That's
that
like the middle, though. How does Dragon Tales start?
Thought that was how it started. I don't know the
That
middle of
is how
Dragon.
it
I
starts.
literally never watched Dragon Tales as a
You
kid. So.
didn't?
No, but I
Wow,
know the
you're
theme
missing
song because I just
out.
know those things. It wasn't on Nickelodeon, so
Good show. I don't know what it was on.
it's probably on PBS.
PBS.
Yeah, the PBS Kids, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't at me
It
right
does.
now.
It does go right into the chorus, though.
So, yeah, I do want to say one thing, because I think last time you guys did mention the whole element of, like, this could be in the Collect 'em All tournament. I'm going to argue no. Because the Collect 'em All tournament were all shows that would not exist without their toys. I do think DoReMi could exist without the toys, and we would still have the story and the characters. That's why I don't think it gets in. I will admit,
honestly-
we didn't have enough, like, girl power representation amongst those toys. I will definitely admit that.
They did not have much in the way of toys. Like, they were trying to sell you one thing and one thing only.
Yeah.
They, honestly, the only things that I remember as far as the toys went were they did have the Dream Spinners and they also had the Wandlers. And I know this because Gav had them.
Yeah, but if they didn't have those and it was just a regular ass wand or something, does not change the show at all. If Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't have the cards, it ain't a show. If Beyblade doesn't have Beyblades, it ain't a show. I think that's kind of the key difference that I'll say there. But in regard to the show, yeah, catchy as fuck opening. The dub is really fun in some parts, really annoying in others, because it's for kids. It's what you're gonna deal with. Say it again. Hot teacher, still hot. Music's decent. Art and animation, I think, is cute. I'm willing to give it a little bit of a pass because we might not be watching this the best version. This might have been the lowest quality video that I've gotten for everything in the tournament, quite frankly.
But that is the original viewing experience. Do you think 4Kids was running this in, like, over 420 quality?
I think they at least hit 480.
I want to say that this probably would have been better viewed on an old TV.
Maybe. Like, they were at least doing 480 because that was standard TV quality. I might have, like, downloaded the 240 version because it was always available, quite frankly.
4Kids came in on antenna.
I realize that, and that can hit 480. So,
If you get it, most antenna is like staticky and cutting in and out a little bit.
that is dependent on your individual situation of what you're doing. What they're pumping out is what they're pumping out. Overall, I think, this is a decent show with a couple highlight points. I'll give it a light yay as far as production goes.
Yeah, I mean, I like the production in this overall. I think the designs are really cute. I think the animation, like, kind of has that, I don't know, it looks, like, kind of old, but, like, I think it's good for its time, and I kind of like, the old looking animes. I don't know, it feels nice and cozy to me. I really like the vibes that it has. I don't have much in particular to say about, like, how well it was made or anything like that. I just mostly I don't know, I like the aesthetic, I guess. It's like probably like a light yay for me.
I will give this a light yay for production as well. I love the animation. Yes, it's old, but, like, I love the colors and I love everything else about, like, just how this show looks. I love the music. The opening's very catchy, as we have already stated. I like all the little music tunes that they have. And I don't know. This dub, I'm a little bit nostalgic for.
This dub is a
even
dub.
if it is a dub. It is stupid in some parts, but it's also really hilarious in others. And honestly, I think they just got a really good voice cast for all of these people. Like, all of these voices go with those faces. And honestly, like, when you know how I used to be really, really picky about this sort of thing. And sometimes it is still a bit of a thing for me, but, like, they hit the nail on the head with pretty much everybody in this show. So, yay!
Like, big props for actually having them sound and feel like little girls.
Yes.
I will give them one knock for the little sister. I can tell that is a pitched up thing, and it's nails on a chalkboard to me. But that's one character, I guess.
To be fair, I don't think they could record a 4-year-old.
Hey, South Park did it.
Daddy called you a pussy.
That was so perfect.
I think Bluey does it.
All right.
No, okay, Bluey's doing it.
Yeah, Bluey's doing it. Cece.
America can do it.
Cece, while you're talking about Bluey, why don't you tell us your final thoughts on this show as well?
They jelly donated us.
What?
Elaborate.
The chocolate whatever.
I don't remember what it actually was.
It was supposed to be like a cookie. It was chocolate something.
Delights?
Like the takoyaki thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made takoyaki, but they were like, oh, these brownie balls
Snickerdoodles?
or something.
I think they called them
Snickerdoodles.
chocolate delights.
No, snickerdoodles.
It was snickerdoodles?
I don't think they said
They
were
snickerdoodle.
like
definitely said chocolate.
It was chocolate
They some
delights.
sort of doodles.
Chocolate doodles. You combined it. It was chocolate doodles.
Those were very obviously octopus balls. There's no chocolate involved. I'm struggling. Good magical girl show. It knows its audience.
Can I ask, did you write that down as a note after looking at my notes?
No.
Because you had not filled out notes for this. Yeah, all I put is those sure are some jelly donuts.
Okay. I think this is an enjoyable show. I've seen a lot of these plots and tropes and all sorts of things from these episodes done better in other shows, I think. But this was likely one of the first times that the intended audience actually got to see a lot of these things. And honestly, not a bad intro. I think, yeah. Plus, like, let's be real here. Hot Teacher is still hot, so, like, yay, at the very least.
Yeah, I enjoyed these episodes. I would say it's a light yay. You know, it's a very cute show. I think it continues to be enjoyable. I had no complaints about it last time we watched. I thought it was fun, and it keeps pleasantly surprising me. So yeah, I like it. I would give it a light yay.
This show is silly and it's fun, and it's got a good set of characters that they've established with actual parents, and it's just a good show. I'll give it a light yay.
Yeah, I mean, it's cute. I will agree. It is cute, and it's something for, little kids and those that are little kids at hearts. And I don't know, maybe would I go out of my way to watch more of the show? Probably not, no. But if this moves on, will I be dreading watching it? Not really. Guess I'll find some enjoyment. This feels like a backhanded compliment, but no, it's fine. It's fine.
All right, well, I tell you what. Both of these shows got a callback, but only one can be cast in the role as lead. Who shall it be? Kozi, why don't you tell us who got your yay for plot? I'm trying to get the theater kid energy going.
DoReMi. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a hater for most of this more than enjoying DoReMi more. Like, I am just so mad at the Princess Tutu anime.
Well, then you're not going to like that I liked Princess Tutu better. I thought they had a little bit more going on with their stuff. Like, I feel like I said both of these shows were episodic. I was a little more interested in the episodic elements of the various emotionally damaged people we're dealing with.
Actually, I lied. Apparently, when I chose this, I was not a hater.
Oh, so are you switching now? Are you keeping it what you said, or what are you doing?
No, I will go with what I put when I took the notes.
Going with your
Apparently,
gut?
I'm Tutu.
Going with your note. Okay, so Tutu. 2 for Tutu. 2 for you, Tutu. You go, Tutu.
I'm also going with Princess Tutu. I feel like it did have that episodic element, but at the same time, I can see like an overarching story happening, with the Prince and Raven thing and with Princess Tutu's overall goal. So yeah, I think the plot just grabbed me more and makes me more intrigued to see what will happen next.
Yeah, for plot, I'm also gonna give it to Princess Tutu just because, there is... While in DoReMi, there's definitely going to be, a plot going forward, particularly going after episode 4. Is more of a current present, overarching plot in Tutu, so I'm gonna give it to that.
Yeah, I think the plot for Tutu is probably more involved, more stuff going on with Tutu than DoReMi, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I do like slice of life, but I think I enjoyed the stories of these of these two Tutu episodes more than the DoReMi episodes.
Yes, it is Tutu for me as well.
All right, well, Tutu takes the plot category, but who shall take the characters? I'm up first, and I am torn. Now, I found a lot of the characters in both of these shows, both at times hilarious, but also annoying. Then on the other hand, Tutu had some characters I was like, ooh, you're intriguing and very interesting. On the other hand, DoReMi, hot teacher is still hot. So, very torn. No, I'm going with Tutu on this one, I think.
I actually think I'll go with DoReMi on this one.
Ooh, okay.
Even though I really enjoyed the characters in Tutu, I don't know. I think the characters in DoReMi just felt, I don't know, I guess a little bit more real and got a little bit less annoying to me. Why are you giving me that face?
Hot teacher is hot.
Hot teacher is hot.
Let's be real here. Hot teacher way hotter than cat teacher.
I think for me, a lot of it was like, I liked the dynamics of DoReMi better between the characters and their friendship and stuff. And I liked like their dynamics with their families and everything. And I feel like they just gave me a little bit more for the side characters. Whereas like Princess Tutu didn't give me as much for the supporting cast.
Yeah, for characters, I will also be giving it to DoReMi. And it's more just because like the characters feel like quite a bit more fleshed out in these first 3 episodes. Like I feel for Tutu, like the characters like aren't completely like established yet, and that's partly because of like the mysteriousness of like the plot that's going on. But I feel like we got a good handle on these like kids, and I feel like, you know, they've got personality. So I'm gonna give it to DoReMi.
Yeah, even though it's kind of weird, because even though the characters in DoReMi sometimes irritated me, I felt like there was more to their characters. Like, I liked Duck in Tutu, and I understood Yuto not having a character because he got stripped of his character, but I felt like some of the characters in Tutu shine mainly due to the stories rather than their personalities themselves, versus DoReMi, the whole point of the stories of these episodes was their characters and, you know, their development. So yeah, I'm going to go with DoReMi for characters.
I hear you all, but I'm going to say Tutu for characters.
Wait, what?
I hear you all, but I'm going with Tutu.
Oh,
it's like,
okay,
I hear
okay,
you.
I'm sorry.
I disagree.
No. Okay, the way you sounded, I thought you said I hate you all. So I was like, what?
I hear you.
Really?
You have a valid point.
Really?
Okay,
Out of
okay,
all the things that we've done on this podcast, Princess Tutu and Magical DoReMi is what breaks us apart? We got through Dokuro. Come on now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, this is where my hater shit begins.
Okay.
I'm DoReMi here, but again, I feel like this is a valid point. Like, we got way more development for way more characters in DoReMi than we did for Tutu. Like, we only really got development on Duck. And, like, sorry, we already knew who Duck was.
All right, looks like it's 1-1. Yin, please take us into your thoughts on world building. Who gets your yay for that?
So definitely Princess Tutu. I think there was barely any, if any, world building happening in DoReMi this week. And I feel like Princess Tutu had pretty strong world building for its kind of genre in the theme and vibe of the show. I liked the fairy tale-esque, somewhat mysterious world building, but still giving us like quite a bit with the shards and the story, like them being from like a storybook or whatever. So I really liked the world building in Tutu, and I'd give that one the point.
I will also give it to Tutu for world building. I feel for these 3 episodes of DoReMi, like, the world building is there, but it's very light, and it's alluding to a lot of things that are coming in later on down the line, whereas Princess Tutu's world building right now kind of established at least, like, the fairy tale aspects, and the fact that The Prince and the Raven is a story, and that our characters are characters from that story. as well as like the heart shards kind of like sort of establishing like what's going on with all of that and that they need found, and that's what's like, you know, causing these people who are affected by them to start acting strangely. So I feel like there's just a lot more going on world-wise with Tutu, so I'm gonna give it to that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I lost track of it.
He was thinking about Pluto and Goofy.
I was gonna say, I'm like, did we lose you? Hello?
I'm sorry.
Did you finally figure out Pluto and Goofy?
I know what meme/link Assisi's talking about, but yeah, I won't mention that. World building is a 2-2 for me.
Okay, I picked DoReMi for world building. I am hung up on the Goofy Pluto thing.
I am a hater. I also picked DoReMi. So I get what you're all saying, that Tutu has like a more fantastical world going on, but it's a very poorly explained and put together world right now. Whereas, yeah, DoReMi, we just have really a normal world, but it's a very fleshed out normal world so far.
I feel like that was the argument you gave me whenever I said Revolutionary Girl Lieutenant did not do a whole lot in the way of world building whenever the last time. I am going with Princess Tutu because this is the slow burn that I like. Princess Tutu takes world building. Chibi, why don't you tell us what you think about production and who should be winning now? With production, at least.
So, production for both of these is fine. I don't really have qualms with either of them. However, for production, I will give it to DoReMi because of that opening, and also the dub is funny.
Sorry, it's stuck in my head.
Yeah, well now it's in all of our heads, so thank you.
Everyone's
Thank
head.
you so
Everyone
much.
suffers with me!
If it becomes a tie, I might switch my vote, but because I'm pretty split even on this.
You
but I
can
guess
abstain if you
I'll go
like.
with two. Well, here's the thing. I don't want everyone to abstain, so I will pick 2-2 for now, but if it's a tie, I will switch my vote.
I am also saying 2-2 for this one.
This is where my hater shit comes in full. How fucking dare Tutu not give us more ballet? It's a ballet anime! I'm DoReMi.
Well, I liked the ballet that we did get, and I liked a lot of the other elements that I mentioned before. You look at what I said about Tutu, because Tutu.
I don't remember what I gave a meh or yay or whatever on with this one, and I feel kind of like, I don't know, I guess I feel kind of like Envy, where like I don't have strong feelings one way or the other that much about this. So I guess to me, like, Tutu has a more distinct, like, vibe. DoReMi is really cute, but I guess, like, Tutu's a little more memorable. I don't know. I guess I'll give it to Tutu.
All right, Tutu wins production, and we move on into final thoughts. Envy, you feel like abstaining again, or shall you give us your final thoughts?
Yeah, when it comes to final thoughts, I enjoyed both shows. I was surprised because I was kind of indifferent to both of them when we watched it the first time. But if I had to pick which one I would rather watch, I'd probably go with 2-2.
It's 2-2 for me. I just really like this show.
I'm a hater. I would really rather read the manga again over watching more Tutu. I'm DoReMi.
Tutu. Totally Tutu. I was a Tutu sweep today, and Tutu is just tutuing it real hard right now.
What? I'm Tutu as well. I guess.
You're Tutu?
It is Tutuing.
It sounds like Tutu wins.
Yeah, Tutu's pretty much swept this, but give us your final thoughts anyway.
I mean, personally, I could have gone either way for watching either of these, because one is sort of like more intriguing, but then the other one's kind of like nostalgic silliness. So yeah, I'm kind of like a shrug.
Well, Tutu wins anyway. With 4-1, Tutu takes the theater kid energy. They got the part. They got the callback. Finally, they're gonna be the lead in the theater kid energy bracket, and they're gonna be fighting Sup Brah at some point. So we gotta figure out Who is coming back? Which of the boys is coming to face off against Tutu? We got...
Can I make a quick reference to another childhood series of mine?
Absolutely, why not?
Sideways Stories from Wayside School. In one of the chapters, the kids were talking about getting a tattoo. One of the kids got a tattoo for his birthday. And all the kids were like, whoa, I asked for a tattoo, but my parents gave me a tutu. And the kids were like, I wanted a tattoo too, but I too got only a tutu. And I think about that every time the words tutu or tattoo come up.
You two got a tutu?
Yeah.
Damn. Well, we gotta figure out who's fighting Tutu. It's either gonna be Shugo Chara or Cute High Earth Defense Club Love. Let's talk about these shows. Shugo Chara, what happened? Amu happened. Amu is happening all over the place. So you got them eggs, and them eggs are hatching, and they're hatching into multiple personality disorders. Okay? Not only that, she might be a little schizophrenic too, but it's okay. There's a club full of schizophrenic people, but there's also evil schizophrenic people who also have some sort of like Catboy DID. We're not entirely sure yet. But now she's transforming into these people. Not just taking on a personality, but she's getting powers and stuff. And she's fighting people's evil eggs. Again, we're doing therapy, but for a battle, for the boys, you know? So, I feel like I'm getting worse and worse at describing plots, but also more entertaining, hopefully? Let me know in the comments.
There was a tart.
There was a tart. And his name was, what's the Catboy's name?
Ikto.
Ikto.
Yes.
I don't know. I was kind of getting Ikto, but we'll talk about that when we get to characters.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of a meme.
I'm turning into a bit of a bitch. Did I miss anything?
No.
Okay.
CC.
What did you think about my plot description?
I liked your plot description. For plot, I just wrote down 3 question marks. Because again, even more so this time, I do not see the overarching plot. I'm just taking the episodes as they come.
I think we're establishing that CC has no media literacy.
I mean, they don't like mecha, so you know that was going to be a thing.
You're right, actually.
I usually am. That's wrong.
No, yeah, that's very wrong.
Might be my lack of attention span.
Could be. I feel like I was worse this week, though.
Just an unwillingness to do any sort of deep thinking.
Is that all you have to plot? You're not gonna... Okay. What did I put?
Oh no.
Okay, my notes were, we're establishing the conflict and overarching plot line.
That's true.
Vague description is vague.
But it's also completely the opposite of what Cece just said.
Wow.
Like, we're kind of establishing, yes, it's gonna be kind of monster of the week with the X eggs, but like, there's stuff going on. Like, they're all fighting to get this wish. What is gonna give them this wish? Apparently a child. Specifically an unborn one. Or no.
The embryo.
The embryo. I don't think that's
Embryos
a child yet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a
No.
a half a child, maybe.
They're not even like a zygote yet.
Yeah, no.
It's just it's that special egg.
It's a special
That special egg isn't born yet, and that egg will give someone a wish.
Or
Anyways,
their
we
period.
have the goal everyone is moving towards. We have some conflict. Woo, it's a plot.
Yes, it is a plot.
This is
Yes.
certainly a plot. My plot thought is Amu continues to deal with her growing group of alters like a magical girl version of United States of Terror. We got to finish that show at some point. I remember
I thought
watching.
I definitely
We watched a
did.
couple episodes. I did not.
Oh, I saw the whole show.
Yeah, I know you did. I want to see the rest of it.
Okay.
We meet the Guardians more in depth and learn about their mission and the dangers of the eggs and also their other people who are like, stuff. But that's all character things. Therapy would be much easier if magical girls just destroyed your negative emotions, for the boys. Like, yay. Honestly, pretty good.
All right, yeah. I have this as yay. I really remember liking the first episode of the show. I continued to enjoy it. I think this second episode dipped a little bit for me, but then I was really invested in the third. I feel like, yeah, they established the embryo stuff and that, you know, the good guys and the bad guys are like trying to get this wish egg. So there is like a goal for the future that they set up. And I feel like we also have like the more inner plot of Amu and her identity. So I feel like it did a good job of continuing like with more of the external plot and the internal conflict. I think it did a pretty good job of laying that all out. So I would give it a yay.
So yeah, for these couple of episodes, like in the first episode, we met her first little Shugo Chara, guardian character, and Ron, who is the little pink cheerleader person. Like these two episodes, like our main plot is kind of to introduce the other two eggs, who are Miki, who is the little blue one, who is the artist, and Sue, who is the green one, who likes to bake. And sort of just establish their personalities is kind of sort of like what the plot of these episodes is, with the overarching plot of getting Amu introduced to the guardians of the school and sort of establishing who they are and what their end goal is, and like trying to get her to, you know, join them, which she does by the end of episode 3, and they give her the title of the Joker.
Join is a very strong word.
They strong arm her into it.
Shanghaied, I believe is the word.
But yeah, so it's kind of like just sort of establishing like, hey, this is how we fight these things, and, you know, you use your powers, you know, to character change, to, you know, sort of like turn the X eggs back into normal eggs. And that's kind of how you do it, and just sort of getting that all established. So basically what these 3 episodes sort of did was sort of give us like her transformations, and then also kind of establish like, hey, this is what the monster of the week bit's gonna look like for, you know, going forward. Which I think is good, kind of like establishing our plot and kind of like the expectations going forward. So I'd give this like a yay.
Kind of like Princess Tutu, I was kind of indifferent, mixed on the first episode of Shugo Chara, but these 2 episodes kind of won me over a little bit. I enjoyed these 2 episodes a lot more, and I think it's more, I cared more about plot. I mean, I liked Amu's development. Granted, you know, the eggs and the whole, we'll get more into that in the world building, but like the whole charas that come out of your eggs that, you know, represent the part of your personality that you want to portray, and you know, it's kind of an in your face, kind of not in your face metaphor at the same exact time. It's like the part of your personality that you want to convey but you're too shy to say, or you're trying to keep hidden, or vice versa. But I did enjoy that, and I enjoyed the interactions with the court. Like, I thought the court was going to be a snooty, you know, student council like we see in a lot of anime, but they seem pretty fun to hang out with. So yeah, I enjoyed these episodes for the most part.
All right, well, plot is nothing without its characters. Kozi, why don't you tell us your thoughts on them?
My notes for this were just, I love them all, Your Honor. But I do think it's very interesting and enjoyable to have, like, a character's inner struggle with their sense of identity to be, like, a tangible outside struggle as well. I like that Amu's, like, really in denial, like, this is not me, but they're literally her. They came from her wish to be more herself. And she really struggles with that, and you see it in so many ways about how adamant she is to, like, uphold this image she's portraying to people. We have very surface level personalities for the council group. What we've seen of them, I like. And then I adore Amu's Chara's. Like, they're so cute. Sue is my favorite. She's just a baby. But yeah, I like them.
So you said Your Honor, but I love them and all that sort of stuff. All I was thinking was that one where it's like, well, yeah, I'm just going to get one. It's just one. Well, he needs to have a friend, so I got to get two. And I'm already here. I might as well get a third one. And it's like, at this point, we got to get the fourth and fifth one. At this point, it's an investment. It's an investment. I don't have a problem. Like, I don't know, man. It is fun watching Amu deal with all of her dissociative identity disorders and also developing schizophrenia and then finding out everyone else has one too. And it's fun that all of them seem to be like the exact opposite personalities, and it's going to be fun to watch. Oh, the quiet but also like subtly manipulative secretary of the group also is a psychopath who tries to kill people. Yeah, and the very shy and like sweet and cute class president or whoever also is a megalomaniac. Like, that's just fun. That's fun to watch. I'm interested to see how they play off each other. Why are you
supporting world domination? It's fun!
It's fun! It is fun. I mean, come on, let's be real here. At some point or another, we've watched a Disney movie and been like, I kind of am rooting for the villain just a little bit. So...
Black Panther.
Well, that one definitely. Yeah. But yeah, overall, like, fun stuff.
Yeah, to me, the characters really make this show. I like the duality of all these characters and how that's expressed in their little chibis. Like you said, we get to see like the nice shy boy be like an annoying like king who wants to take over the world, and then the one girl become like, who's usually like very put together, become like, I don't know, a fighter, like mean kind of person. And of course, like everything that Amu herself has going on, she has like 3 different personalities, and I find all of that very interesting. It was nice how they emphasized that all these characters wanted to be something different or like express different parts of themselves, and they're all the same in that way. And I like I like the main girl and her fashion. So
I would say I like the characters for this. I don't really think there's a whole lot to add other than the fact that their little guardian Charas are like, they were wished for, and it was like who they like wish for the strength to be. So I feel like that's like an interesting little tidbit to like think about, like, what do these characters want that would, make them like want this inner being, so to speak.
Apparently world domination.
We've all been there.
I think for him it's more he wants to be less of a shy, timid person, and he wants to be this well-spoken... He wants to
be the leader.
He wants to be the leader, but he wants people to take him seriously, which is like a kingly sort of personality. And I feel like Amu for herself, like, I think she's just like a multifaceted character, which is why, like, her inner selves, like, there are 3 of them currently at this point.
It's very much like a man versus self, but also man versus society.
So you're saying it's for the boys?
Sorry, GB.
I was just gonna say, furthermore, we have also Yaya and Kukai, who we haven't really established so far yet, but the thing is, Yaya's kind of the one that I find to be interesting because she is very childish, but she also has a baby one, which we'll get to that part later, but like, it's something to chew on for now.
I feel like I'm not gonna like her.
You probably won't.
Chibi, I have a quick question that you may not know the answer to, but Gav did drop. They mentioned when we last did Shugo Chara that we haven't met their favorite character yet. Do you know
which character we're talking about?
Okay, which one was it?
We're not gonna probably meet this person until they get to 6th grade.
Oh, okay.
So probably not even in the tournament? If they make it the whole way? Well, that's a bummer.
Wow.
Yeah, I like I said, I like the characters a lot more in these 2 episodes. I like Amu and basically, having both an existential and a real crisis because, it's her coming to grips with her emotions and how she wants to be perceived by the world. But then also her Charas are little shits, so she has to physically deal with them too, even though technically nobody could see them except for other Chara users. I liked Student Council. I liked all 4 of them, especially the Queen. I thought her dynamic with Amu was fun. I even liked the little 3rd grader that she kind of helped and saved from his own despair. So yeah, I enjoyed the characters a lot these episodes.
I like the purple girl. I like that she goes kind of psycho mode. Amu's guardians I thought were a little annoying until Sue showed up. I was like, oh, you're cute. No, I like this one. She can stay. Also, I think last time I said something about the upperclassman being Chat Noir. I was like, oh yeah, his guardian is straight up Flag.
Mm-hmm.
Kozi was like, he's not an upperclassman, he goes to a different school, and I nearly did a spit take. It's like, you're telling me that grown man is also in the 5th grade? He's like, oh no, he's 16. I'm like, yeah, I think a 10th grader is an upperclassman to a 5th grader. Which makes all of the things he was doing super uncomfortable.
Yeah, what's his name again?
Ikuto.
Ikto, gotcha.
He was not hitting on her, though.
It was still pretty weird. That's definitely what he told the cops.
It was uncomfy.
Okay, the licking the egg thing, weird. Him falling on top of her was like an actual accident.
I swear, officer, it was an accident. He's got to practice.
Maybe, but he's been kind of weird around her.
He's bullying middle schoolers, which is weird.
I get the sense that they're like trying to frame it as a romantic option. Is that true?
Yes.
Later
Okay,
on.
that's
It
right.
is.
It feels like it's being set up. Yeah.
Much
Ew.
later. Much later, and it is not relevant to the plot. In fact, they go out of their way to be like, it's not just for romance. They have to establish like a platonic bond for the sake of saving the world.
Doesn't feel like it's for the boys, though.
Where were we? Oh.
I don't know. Who was going?
That was all I had for characters.
Al, it's
Okay,
back to you.
cool. Let me tell you my thoughts on the world building a little bit. I don't think there's much of thoughts from me. We're learning more about the Charas. Good. That seems to be the main premise here. We've heard of an embryo. Has to be a thing. There's also eggs. That makes sense. The main bit of this primarily seems to be finishing out Amu's trio of personalities and getting the extended cast ready to go. But we're also learning what they're capable of, which feels like a larger portion of what this show is going to be about. Like, yeah, we should get to know, like, what can you do with a Chara? What can you do with a Guardian? What happens when you have DID and you black out for a few hours? You know, so overall, I'm a light yay here. I think, like, I'm not learning everything that I want to learn, but I'm learning, stuff that I need for now. And that's good.
I'm also a light yay. I really don't have anything to add. I feel like you kind of covered it, and I feel like in plot we kind of talked about these elements too, so I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of slowly, like, building out the world and sort of what's going on. Not really, like, anything, like, too crazy at this point, aside from, like, the embryos and the characters and kind of, like, establishing, like, the egg in everyone's heart, yada yada.
I think I'm a full yay for world building because I think it really expands upon the whole Chara concept of not just, these are representations of yourself, but like how they're formed, how everyone can technically everyone has them. It's just whether or not they fester and they come out is based entirely on your emotions. And there's only a certain amount of people that could use them. And whether or not you choose to use them for good or bad is dependent on how you align with your personality. Yeah, there might be a certain franchise that kind of reminds me of a little bit with its elements, but yeah, it was. I really enjoyed it.
Are you likening this to the Force?
Yes. Shut up.
Oh, I thought this was a Persona joke.
No, it was my first passion.
JoJo.
You could make a very strong argument for Persona.
Yeah, that could work too.
What about JoJo?
JoJo.
Just trying to get all your interest in there, man.
I mean, technically you could say the Charas are a stand.
Oh.
Oh no, I suddenly don't like the show anymore.
Oh no.
I don't know if either of these thoughts go in world building, but I'm putting them here. I love that they were making a tart and then they ruined it. And so they took the leftover pie crust. We're like, we made cookies! And I'm like, Did you?
I mean, pie cookies are delicious. My mom used to make those all the time
Really?
when I was little.
Just pie crust?
So, yeah.
Huh.
But you add stuff to them. You can add sugar or cinnamon or whatever you want to them. Like,
Hey,
yeah, pie cookies.
that's
are really
fascinating, but they didn't.
Yeah.
She took a flour crust
Yeah.
and made cookies, and she's like, "We saved it."
That's just world building. It's magical. They have little egg guardians.
You know what? Yeah,
Flour
they didn't add
crust
anything,
tastes like
but
a cookie.
she's magic.
Also, Amu's. I keep forgetting her name. I keep thinking, what is her name? Is it Shugo? No, it's the Chara. No, it's Amu. Her.
Where does the name come? Who is Shugo?
It means guardian.
Okay.
Oh.
You know what?
That's
Everything
why
makes
they
sense.
keep calling, if you listen to it in Japanese, anytime they are talking about the guardians of the school, the student council, they say the word Shugo. That is what that
Bruh,
word is.
I can't listen and read at the same time.
You pick up on
All right.
words, dude.
It's technically Shugo Chara.
Well, I also can't speak Japanese.
No,
so-
everyone says Chara.
Yeah, I've always heard of this Chara, but like, isn't it like character? But okay.
Yes. Yes.
It just sounds better.
Anyway, Amu's apron has a little cat face on it. And this is one of my favorite tropes in anime. When it's just like this little detail in the background, a lot of people don't even notice. Characters that have like a face on their clothes or like a little plushie they carry around, when that face changes to match the main character's expression, I love that so much. Like, the tart goes flying, and the little cat apron goes like, ah! And then, like, she catches the cookies in her apron, and the cat's like, whoo! It's just so cute. I love when they do that.
So, for the world building, we're going really slow. But they explain why we're going slow. I don't know if any of you actually, picked up what they said. The Guardian Council, they can't transform. Almost the first time they've seen that happen. They don't know shit about the embryo or the Humpty Lock because all the relevant pages got torn out of the book. They are just as surprised as she is.
This also makes me think maybe I shouldn't have put this in the magical boys category. Because let's be real here.
Okay, just
It
because
ain't for the boys.
Just because he can't get it up. Doesn't make it not a magical boy.
Ikuto does become more like a deuteragonist eventually.
Yeah, but is he still Iktu? I'm gonna take your silence as a yes.
There is some not great...
There's some ick. There's some ick. There's some ick. Just say that. There's some ick.
There's ick happening to him.
Oh, because it makes it better?
No. There is ick possessing him, quite literally.
Oh, good lord.
But yeah, what we're getting of world building is stuff they are figuring out as they go, because nobody has a manual to it, which is great. I enjoy that. They're giving us an actual reason why we're establishing things kind of as it pops up, versus well, if you knew all this, why didn't you just tell them? Or, hey, why are you not asking anyone to explain to you what is going on? Amu got an explanation. It wasn't a fucking good one, so she's like, okay, later, losers. Anyways, yeah, I like it.
Yin, why don't you tell us what you think about the show's production?
All I wrote was fashion.
What have I started?
You have no one to blame but yourself, Kozi. Yeah. Her clothes are super cute. That's all I could really focus on screen. The animation is whatever to me, but her clothes are so cute. I loved her little apron. I love her little socks, her knee high. I don't know, her clothes are cute.
Are these socks or are they leg warmers?
Leg warmers.
They
You're
feel
right.
like
You're
leg
right.
warmers.
It's leg warmers. I didn't know the word for it. It went out of my brain.
I don't even think they're leg warmers.
They're scrunchy
Really?
socks.
Yeah, they're
scrunchy socks? Okay.
They're covers.
Whatever they are. I love it. So yeah, no other notes. But yeah, the production overall I guess would be a meh, but her clothes are cute.
I give production a yay. Art style's cute, character design's cute, Voice acting is cute. There was never a dub of this, so I have nothing to compare it to. Music's good. Opening's a bop. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the animation was fine. I thought the character design was good, and yeah, I do agree with you. And her main outfit does got the drip.
I agree. I also like the outfits, with the exception of Ran. Something about her little sideways visor. I'm like, stop, please, stop talking. The faces are just like a little ugly, though. They have such big foreheads and very like round eyes.
Yeah, pretty reminiscent of the manga.
I will get to fashion. It's just not in production. I did not appreciate this fully as a child. There are like a lot of like jokes that I just completely did not pick up on. I also feel like I really couldn't appreciate like how much like actual labor and how skill intensive it is that goes into something like this. Like, we haven't really seen much of it, but like this is one of those shows where like we don't really reuse the transformation sequence over and over again to like pad out runtime. They very much cared about this story and portraying it in the best way possible. Some of these feel like soulless cash grabs, but like you can tell there's a lot of heart in this series.
Gotta be real with you. When I watched this, I was kind of a meh. Because I was like, it looks nice, but don't remember a whole lot of comments. It's nice to see an anime character with more than one outfit. You guys have kind of turned me around on it a little bit, though. I think you're right. You guys make some good points. And honestly, how can I not give, at the very least, a light yay for an apron that expresses the things that its wearer is expressing? You're right. That is fashion. Even if it's not for the boys.
It's also just...
Yeah, I'll give it a light yay.
It's such a little detail they did not need to include.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it. Probably, you know what? No one else did. And like, yeah, that's a good thing. Light yay. Good for you guys. Chibi, why don't you tell us about your final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I give this a yay. The episodes are pretty much like sort of giving us an establishing point for where we're at. Characters are good. I like where they're at. World building is progressing. Production is good.
Yeah, kind of like with Princess Tutu, I was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed these 2 episodes, and I had a good time watching it. So if it moves on, I will be happy to watch episodes 4 through 6.
Just my miscellaneous thoughts from the episode. Licking the heart egg feels like sexual assault. If not a euphemism, like, oh, he licked her heart eggs. Kind of like oh my god, I'm just gonna keep relating this back to books. Golden Compass with the daemons.
Daemons, yes.
There's this whole thing about how, like, they shared sensations with their owners. And, like, it felt really invasive if somebody else touched yours. I just remember that being a thing.
Didn't she let people ride her polar bear?
That wasn't her daemon, though. That was just a polar bear who was, like, the emperor of the polar bears or something.
Yeah.
You see, it's like Goofy and Pluto. Some animals are...
Okay,
am I wrong, though? Some animals are animals who are your spiritual, like, familiar, and other animals are just talking animals in the world.
Speaking of euphemisms, Flood of Cream is no better. That whole scene was like, whoa.
After they were talking about he's trying to get the embryo.
Whoa!
I thought they said he's trying to steal your eggs, and then it was the Flood of Cream. I don't know if that makes it better or worse. I think it's worse.
It was weird.
Why are you so obsessed with Amu's eggs?
To be fair, it's not just her eggs. He's done this to literally everyone.
Okay, that doesn't make it better. You say that like it makes it better. It doesn't make it better.
No, I say that like it makes it fair. He's an equal opportunist.
He's equally opportunistically
and then finally, Kozi and Amu are both wrong. The capes are the best part of the school council uniform.
I feel like I should have just gone force and... Hey, you want to know what I wrote?
She wrote on my notes.
And no mode says no capes.
Yes.
My final thoughts is everyone is so fashion. Amu, fashion. Ron, fashion. Miki, fashion. Sue, fashion and adorable. The student council, fashion. The one girl's Chara, a little questionable because it's a literal baby and I think I remember there being a diaper. So we don't kink shame, we kink ask why. The only thing that is not fashion is those stupid little capes.
My final thoughts is it seemed like it's going to be a decent show. I'm laughing at a couple parts here and there, and there's a bit of intrigue, which is fun. For whatever reason, I'm not completely sold on it, but it's good. I can tell that it's good. It's just one of those things where it's like, this is good. I could take it or leave it, honestly, but I'll say a light yay.
You're just mad because there aren't any boys.
There's definitely a bunch of boys.
No magical boys, though.
No, but one could argue that Amo's doing it for the boys.
True. Yeah, I really liked these episodes. I like the characters. So far, I don't have many complaints except I don't like the inevitability of Amu and Ikuto. I feel like they've got something going on and I don't want it.
A restraining order?
Something. I don't know how old she is, but I feel like she's not old enough for me.
5th grade.
12.
So how old is that in
12.
Japan?
9, 10? Oh,
11.
no, it's older than I thought. Still.
11.
11?
She is 12.
And he's a teenager.
Cool. She's 2/3 his age.
Yeah, weird. But I feel like they're definitely like hinting at something. But aside from that, I really enjoyed these episodes and I really like Amu as a character. It's something that I'd be interested in continuing, and seeing where it goes. I don't know if I'd finish it. I feel like it's a pretty long show. It all depends on if it goes in directions that I don't like. But so far, I like it. And I'd give it a yay.
All right. Well, I think it's time we really got down to the boys. And we talk about the other show in the Sup Brah category. It's other finalist for now. Cute High Earth Defense Club Love. We watched episode 2 and 3, which I actually think is further than we got when we actually watched it for the podcast. So
No.
good for them.
This was where we ended.
I do not remember episode 3 at all. I think we cut it off at 2.
No,
It
you
might have been
stopped
one of those
watching at 2.
I stopped watching it 2. There you go. Either way.
Yeah, because we
we
watched 3 episodes.
This was a first time for me. So what happened this week? We explained some stuff. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. There's a zombie. We covered that a little bit last time, but now we really know that's a zombie. We thought we got rid of the zombie a couple weeks ago. Turns out there was another zombie. That's the thing. You always got to double tap because there's always another zombie.
Always double tap.
Yeah.
Is it a zombie though? Because it's not moving.
Don't say the title. It's gone.
It's not moving of its own accord.
Okay, then it's a zombie that's under someone's control.
It's
the
just
wombat
a corpse
is
that's being
guys.
possessed.
Guys,
Yes.
the wombat is a necromancer. We don't trust necromancers in this house. Okay, now
Is Weekend at Bernie's a
actually
zombie?
only the second one.
There's the second one?
Have you not seen Weekend at Bernie's 2? Where do you think the Bernie dance comes from?
Oh. Anyway.
God, take me back to high school.
I'll
show you Weekend at Bernie's 2.
Patreon content.
It's
Put it on
so
the list.
fucking weird. It's on the list. Both of them are on the list.
I haven't
You
seen
get
them.
it? So yeah, we are learning about the Cute High Earth Defense Club's responsibilities as battle lovers, or bust lovers, or love busters, or they can't really decide on a name, even though the wombat keeps saying it. They are not interested in being heroes, and God, I have never identified with a group of guys as much. I would not want to be on this team either. But you know what? I should not be getting into opinion just yet. Let's talk about what actually happened. There was a chopstick monster who some dude had OCD.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, everything has to be destroyed.
Yes.
And he becomes a chopstick monster. We also get to meet our villains, the absolutely fashion student council with their tiny ass hedgehog with the deepest voice of a hedgehog that has ever been hedgehogged.
Yes.
And then episode 3, which I've never seen before. Oh my God. the ballet instructor appears. And I didn't know Princess Tutu got a sequel. I did not realize this. Like, he turns into a black swan and makes everyone love him. And they have to fight through the love while they're also trying to win the prettiest boy contest. Which, you know what? I couldn't have told you out the gate what is the most, like, this is the plot for this show, but this is the plot for this show. Everything was just like, yep, this is exactly what this show is supposed to be. For better or worse.
I feel like you're going off into opinions now.
No, I am. Someone get to their opinions. Envy, talk about your opinions before I go off the rails more. I didn't miss anything. I don't feel like I could miss anything.
No, you're good.
Like I said last time, I enjoyed episode 1 for, its quirkiness and its subversion of, it's magical boys instead of magical girls.
That's right. It's for the boys.
But I kind of said this when we reviewed the show how many years ago. I kind of felt like the humor kind of ran its course for me after the second episode, and by the third episode, I was just kind of over it. I didn't find it that funny or that enjoyable, so... And that kind of goes with the plot. It's like, yeah, they're stupid, and they're meant to be stupid, but I just didn't get much out of it personally. So it's just more of a meh for me overall.
Plot-wise, this monster of the week, it is the most basic form, I think. It is super formulaic. Kid gets angry, they get infected, the boys are like, we'll defeat you with the power of love, or what the fuck ever. Everything goes back to normal. It's the same episode structure as Ladybug and Chat Noir.
I'm gonna save us a lot of time. I barely watched these.
Okay.
Yeah. No thoughts, I barely watched it. I was off doing other things while this was playing. I do have a cohesive thing, but I think it's more of a final thought.
Okay. Last time we watched this, a few weeks ago, this show started out, in my opinion, weak as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
The second episode I thought was better, but the third episode actually got me interested.
Okay.
And I cannot believe the things that I am saying. The comedy was better. I think the cast was actually, I'm mostly talking about the third episode. The you mentioned this to me, like, why am I enjoying this? You were like, the cast is actually invested in what's happening. And I'm like, holy shit, it does make it better. And honestly, the swan was the best monster we got, so the monsters are progressively getting more interesting for whatever reason. I'm a full fucking yay, and I don't know why. I'm scared of what's happening to me.
I think you are enjoying the goofs.
Okay, so I had very mixed opinions about this. Kind of like what Al was saying, I think the third episode was very much improved on the first two, because like the first two, I feel like it would follow this thing where it's like, they talk about absolutely nothing for half the episode, and they go on tangents that are just dumb. And then all of a sudden, there's a kid who's upset about something and becomes a monster. And then the Wombat's like, go fight. And then they're like, oh, okay, we'll fight. And then they fight. But it's like the main boys like don't care about anything that's happening and have no goal in the plot. Like, they're just like, all right, we'll fight because the Wombat told us to. I don't know. It's like, I just don't like that. And I don't know if we're going to be getting more of that. But I feel like the third episode did like improve it in terms of, okay, they were actually like trying to win this contest, and they actually had some stakes in the climax of the battle and stuff. So I was like, all right, I'm okay with this. You know, the third episode I enjoyed a little bit. I thought it was a lot better, and it moved along a lot faster and didn't just feel like that same tired formula from the first two episodes. And the protagonists felt like they cared about something. But I don't know, like, I have to take both episodes into account, maybe even all three of them. And the first two just really didn't do it for me, especially the second one. I was like, oh my God, like, we're doing this again. And I don't know, like, I'm going to give it a meh because I was very mixed. But I do feel like the third one significantly improved it.
So for these two episodes, I will agree, the plot-wise, they are definitely very, like, formulaic, where it is just, like, a lot of them just, like, talking about whatever the whatever's leading up to the actual monster of the week, because there's normally like a reason why the writers of this show like had them talking about whatever it is they're talking about. I will say that like the ballet episode definitely just feels a lot more involved, considering the fact that the boys are actually like trying to get Rio elected as the #1 pretty boy for the month. So that was like definitely a change of pace because they're actually actively doing something. And yeah, I think as far as like the plot for these goes, like I would say like maybe they could be a bit more exciting, but I feel like they kind of just want to be funny, which I think is sort of the point of this show. So I'm gonna give it a light yay.
Okay. Cece, why don't you tell us, what did you think about these characters?
Characters, I wrote down, yay, more ballet! It is kind of funny seeing the reluctant hero in all of them, especially that they have to wear such, like, quote-unquote girly outfits. And that's not what bothers them, they can't be fucked to, like, get up and do anything.
Again, I didn't really watch these. Just a couple notes on the villains here. First, our OCD guy, for someone who is so obsessed with symmetry, he did not have a very symmetrical hairstyle, which make sense.
Oh, Death the Kid.
Yeah.
And then, I hear you guys on saying you liked the ballet monster, but hear me out, it was not Bon Clay from One Piece, who I just dropped in the Discord. So it is a 0 for me. Because Bon Clay did it better.
He's ugly, though.
So was the ballet monster.
This hurts me to say. These motherfuckers are growing on me. That main kid's still annoying as shit.
Yep.
But the others are getting funny. Monsters of the Week seem to be progressively getting better. Student Council feels like they might be pretty fun. But here's the thing. My God, did I identify with Blue in that last episode. He has not given a shit about anything. But the second something stupid comes along, he's in. I am going to tell you a quote from the great Ron Swanson.
Normally, if given a choice between doing something and nothing, I'd choose to do nothing. But I will do something if it helps someone else do nothing. I'd work all night if it meant nothing got done.
Like, you know what? Blue gets it. As someone who heard someone say, oh, the Ides of March is a holiday, and I'm immediately like, well, we gotta do all the animes that have a guy named Caesar in it. I identify with someone who is willing to run with a stupid idea. Light yay.
All right, I'm going nay. These characters drove me crazy. I don't like these boys. They don't care about a single thing. Therefore, I don't give a fuck about a single thing that's happening. It's like, you gotta give me characters that care about something or have some goal, or else, like, I have nothing to latch on to. Like, I really don't give a shit about anything that's happening. Like, and that one kid with the wombat love,
he might be a predator.
I hate him.
Not sure.
I hate everything about him. He's so annoying to me.
He got naked to grab an animal.
And his,
that
like, pants were undone for some reason.
So, Cece was, like, talking about how they're all paired up and, like, shipped.
You said that.
I did.
Yeah.
And you must have brought up that Emoto.
No, you did that too.
It was all me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take credit for it. This was definitely a group conversation, but Emoto's ship is with the wombat. There's no way it's not.
No.
And at first I was like, no. And then I thought about it. I'm like, okay, he's not actually a wombat. He's an alien. He can communicate. He can consent. I don't think it's bestiality.
And then the wombat says, Yamoto, you're trying to cheat on me with the ballet club.
I don't like this line of... I don't like this entire line of thought because it opens up, if you're talking about it's an alien, it's a this, it's a that, it can consent. You then open it up to literally every almost every animal mascot from all of these fucking shows. Do you want to have this conversation about QB at some point? I don't think you do.
One of the podcasts Stacey really likes features a magic badger that fucks people.
He doesn't fuck humans. He's not a badger, he's a shapeshifter. Badger's his preferred form.
I don't know what's happening anymore, but I
don't know.
just
Please
don't
continue with
like.
something.
I don't like the kid with the wombat.
Anyways, yeah, no. The line of reasoning with supporting evidence is that Yamoto and the wombat are a ship.
Okay.
Please finish your
rest
thought
my case.
before they continue.
I don't know what my thoughts are anymore. I don't like anybody in this show. I think the villains are there for 5 seconds just to be angry, and then like shoot off their whatever, and then come, and then go away. It's like, okay, so we don't even have any. I mean, I guess we have the student council. Like, I think they might get some kind of development along the line.
Yep.
But I don't really care about them either. Like, right now, they just seem like an evil organization, I guess, that wants to take over the world. Why? I don't know. It probably has to do with the hedgehog, but it's like, I don't know. I just hate everyone in this. Nay.
The thing about these characters is that, honestly, they kind of feel like actual dudes from high school because they actually don't want to do fucking anything. Because what person in high school, particularly a guy, like, really wanted to do anything other than just laze about and sort of just yap pretty much their entire evening? But I don't know.
Can we, with confidence, say that the Earth Defense Club was not just what they had to name the Go Home Club?
I thought the sign was on the door before they even went to the room.
It was.
I know.
Yeah, I think they just went there and hung out.
No. So the thing is like a lot of schools don't actually allow Go Home Clubs because the premise of a Go Home Club is exactly what's on the tin. Instead of doing club activities, the members just go home. So I think they adopted a club as a cover for the Go Home Club.
I think they.
But they didn't go home. They hung out with the boys.
Sat around.
They did not hang out all the time, though.
I think they explicitly said that it was a cover to just chill.
What?
So the one thing they want is to hang out with the boys. You're right. These are the most relatable characters I've ever seen. Continue your thoughts, though?
No. Here's the thing. I don't fucking have any notes on this.
You're like,
And that interruption took all of the thoughts that I had out of my head.
do you want to start over?
No. Envy, go.
I'm going to say something that might tick off a lot of people. These characters kind of reminded me of Tumblr characters. Like characters that people love on Tumblr, love to blog and ship about. And I mean no offense, because I know we all use Tumblr at some point. But like, these characters kind of reminded me of, like, the main boys. They reminded me of people that would get shipped, people that would be paired up, the fan art, all that shit. Like, they have personalities, but like, people love to make personalities for them. You know, those types of characters from those types of shows that were as a big part of the Tumblr culture from the late 2000s to the early to mid 2010s. I did like the Wombat and the Hedgehog, though. They were my favorite characters.
Cool. So, Kozi, tell us what your thoughts are on world building.
It fails the Bechdel test.
True. Are there girls?
No!
It's an all-boys academy. Look, this show's for the boys.
Like, are there girls there?
My thoughts on the world are it fails the Bechdel test. This is a magical girl anime tournament.
My turn?
Yeah, that's it.
Alright. So, we got a little more about what and why this is happening, but ultimately neither the characters nor the audience actually cares why this is happening. The development of the hedgehog is a plus, but this category is as irrelevant as the nonsense they talk about every episode. Full name.
Yeah, I mean, we know that the council wants to take over the world. There is a hedgehog, there is an alien wombat, and there are Earth defenders. I don't know anything else. It's a nay.
The only thing I will say is that apparently the wombat generates some sort of electromagnetic field that can make the teacher's body move.
True.
He can apparently control it. So.
And we have a reason that no one recognizes them for once.
Oh yeah, because it's basically censored TV.
True.
Crazy.
That was kind of funny.
I did like that.
Actually, that is going to come back at a certain point.
If
it's going to be a thing going on.
Yeah. If it comes back.
No, just the part where they're like, oh, they can't recognize us. And Fuin senpai?
Yufuin. And it's
just say what color they
name.
are.
It's like us recording the podcast, accidentally dropping each other's names all the time. And we'd be like, wait, take that again.
For yourself.
But he was really just like, he'll recognize my name, you asshole!
But yeah, no, it is a thing. There are actually reasons for it. But moving on.
For pretty much me with world building, there technically is some things, but at the end of the day, it's a spoof show, so world building really doesn't matter. Like, they can say or do whatever they want, but at the end of the day, it's basically what's going to lead to more wackier shenanigans. So, yeah, to me, world building doesn't really matter.
The only thing I wrote down for world building is the principal hosts a monthly pretty boy competition. The principal is on some weirdo behavior.
Yep.
Who won at the end?
We don't know.
How did they announce it?
They never announced it.
Well, I mean, it happens every month.
It happens every month.
I was convinced they were going to split the vote and it was going to go to the student council because he was the only person who had a base.
Okay, Al, your production.
My turn. Yep. I guess I should do that. I'm not always sure what they're doing with this show. I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but I guess they're doing a good job with it. The visual gags are, they're kind of funny sometimes, honestly. The character animations feel like they're maybe getting better, but maybe not. Maybe I'm just having a somewhat enjoyable viewing experience. Meh to a light yay, I guess? I don't know. Probably a meh. I don't know. Someone else talk.
I'm gonna go meh on this too. It doesn't really stick out to me either way. Like, it's not particularly great or particularly bad. It just feels like, I don't know, one of those shows that was made around this time. The animation's fine, the music's fine. I don't know, like, it's just kind of neutral to me.
Animation's good. Color palette is one I don't really mind that much. I'ma just be really honest. The opening and the ending, they are sung respectively by the Earth Defense Club and the Student Council, and I like that because that's just such a nice little touch to have, like, your cast actually singing your songs, particularly for, like, the ending song, mostly because it is, like, actually, that whole little sequence is kind of important to his backstory for the Student Council president.
God.
So
he's gonna be the 6th Power Ranger.
Is that why it sounds like an Udapri song? Because I know a lot of the voice actors doubled over.
Yes, that is why.
Yes, that would be
because
why.
they did a lot of the singing for these. But yeah, like, they had them sing a couple different songs for, like, opening ED, and then even, like, a bonus song that comes, like, during the finale. But yeah, I appreciate it when shows, like, do something like that, because it's just a little something extra that I feel like they didn't have to do it, but the fact that they did it, that's fun.
I mean, the pretty boys are pretty boys, so, you got the pretty boy fan service. I love the voices of the Wombat and the Hedgehog. I thought they were funny and enjoyable. They were my favorite voices of the show, of the cast. I'm going to paraphrase what Yin said last week about Magical Destroyers with its production. What they do well is what is well. It's just whether or not you like it, that's up to you. But yeah, it's fine production-wise.
I was just having a moment of panic because I wrote down FHE, and I was like, I don't know what that means. What did this mean? I can't believe I did it again. And Kozi looked at it and was like, that says fine. So another point for my handwriting. I can't read it. It's fine. It's fine. I don't really have any complaints about it.
It's so stupid.
I am?
that whole thing is just like, what's FH? It's fine.
I still haven't figured out. What was it? Episode 2 or 3? I wrote down something, and I was like, I don't know what this means. I figured out it was.
Oh, it was just an abbreviation.
Yeah, but I don't know what it was.
Did you combine two of your letters together to one letter? Is that
Yeah,
what
my
happened?
eyes also don't usually are full eyes. It's usually just the pip over the next letter. And I thought it was like the pen. I'll send a photo.
How did you have trouble reading fine? But dog! You were like, no, that says Dancy.
Anyway, it was the school shooter magical girl one. I wrote ES and then another letter. And I think I was going for emotional support, but I still haven't figured out what that last word is supposed to be.
Emotional support gun?
It wasn't a G. I'll have to find that as well.
Oh my gosh.
Good
Lord.
H.
I apologize to the audience
Emotional
at home.
support
It
home?
is late, and we're loopy right now.
I'm gonna move some of my final thoughts into production. I do remember touching on this in the original head-to-head here. This show reuses a lot of animation. They did not have a very high budget to make this show, and it really started showing this time. The Peach guy said that the Earth Defense Club has no fashion, and I agree. Well said, Peach guy. They do not have fashion. They have an atrocity.
Well, Yin, why don't you take us into final thoughts?
I didn't particularly enjoy this. I mean, I don't mind like a repetition because it is an episodic show, but I feel like the content that was repeating was just not to my taste. Like, I don't really like the whole they sit around and chit chat for 15 minutes and then they go into battle not even really caring about the battle. Like, it just makes me not feel invested in the show because the characters just don't care about anything. And I like get that they're just teenage boys and stuff, but I don't know, like I want to follow characters that are interesting and interested in something or have some like reason to do things. I don't know, like they just aren't interesting characters to follow in my opinion. So I didn't really get much out of this. I'm gonna give it a light nay.
As far as the show goes, like, I will say, yes, this is a show where, for the majority of the time, our characters literally just sit around bullshit and do nothing until something happens, and then they're kind of forced to go and do whatever it is, save the day, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like that was kind of the point with this show. It was meant to be a comedy and not necessarily take itself very seriously. Which I know for this genre is probably not something that necessarily works unless this is something that you're specifically looking for. But one thing I will say, it is definitely a show in the magical girl genre that is nothing but dudes. So it does fit this category quite well.
I mean, at the end of the day, I stopped watching the show for a reason. I mean, I'm always going to say that if you like a show, more power to you. I'm not going to discourage you for what you like or dislike. But yeah, this show didn't appeal to me by the end of episode 3, so yeah, I don't really have any desire to continue watching it.
I think the show's funny. I liked it as it was airing. I think it's worth a watch, but I don't think it belongs in this tournament.
It is the year of our Lord and Savior 2025. Can we admit at this point that this show was just trying to cash in by queer-baiting fujoshis who are obsessed with yaoi? It has no real substance, or are we not ready for that conversation still?
I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone is aware of that at this point, so I don't think it's a conversation that needs to be had, because I think it's already been said.
Did this come out before or after Free? Because I thought that was what started the trend.
After Free.
After. But
yeah, I mean, I don't think that was ever a question. Do we need to have a conversation about it?
This show was trying to market itself as like a subversion to the genre, but also like not subverting it. Like, people like to pretend this was a lot more than it was. Like, when we say, oh, it's an actual, like, good magical bush, it's not. It was just them trying to pander to people who are obsessed with yaoi.
I might like trash. Yeah.
Oh, we knew that.
But you know what? Yeah, sometimes I don't like good shows because funny. And this show's for the boys. Because sometimes the boys need shows that'll tell them it's okay to feel things sometimes. Especially if those feelings are for your boys. It's like Blue Boy said, girls are fleeting, but the boys are forever. Make time for your boys. I am a miraculous yay.
Kiss your boys. Kiss them good night.
I have no fucking idea why.
Did you mean sometimes you like shows that aren't good? Because you said
Yeah.
sometimes I don't like shows that are good.
Yeah, I don't like shows that are good either, man. Sometimes you just want trash. This is not a good show.
You're a raccoon.
I was pretty sure when I first saw this back in the day that this was not going to be a good show. It's not. God damn it, it's entertaining now, and I don't know why.
You love a train wreck.
I do like a train wreck sometimes.
No, that was Magical Girl Sight. We don't need to bring that one back.
No.
I don't know that was a train wreck. That was just a bomb going off. That's not fun.
There was a train
No,
involved.
it was like that Wedding Peach. I mean, that was like that Wedding
Wedding
show
Peach
for
is
you.
a train wreck. I'm looking forward to
Fun
Wedding
train
Peach.
wreck.
Oh, Wedding Peach brunch after the tournament? Fuck yeah. All right, let's get this over with. All right, we're moving around. Chibi, tell us, who gets your yay for plot?
Shugo Chara gets my yay for plot.
I'm just going to save you a bunch of trouble. Shugo Chara gets my point for everything. Yes, magical. Yes,
Whatever the show was, the
Defense
boys.
Club.
The second show came out later and has technically better animation, but I prefer the art style of Shugo Chara. So Shugo Chara gets my point for everything.
I said Defense Club for the plot.
You're fucking rude. It's a sweep for Shugo Chara for me.
Brah, I think I like trash. I'm kind of on the defense club for now. I don't know what happened.
Okay, I'm also gonna save you time. It's Shugo Chara for everything for me.
Okay. Well, Shugo Chara wins that. Let's move on. Envy. Oh, right. You're definitely giving characters to Shugo Chara, correct?
Yes.
Cool.
I'm giving it
Cece.
Shugo Chara.
Okay.
I'm also, it's a sweep for me.
Okay. All right. Wait.
Maybe
hang
we
on.
should just do.
One,
Did
two,
any of
three.
us?
Cute Iron Defense Club.
Does it have a chance?
I'm voting for Cute Iron Defense Club love for characters. Blue guy got me with the whole. This is stupid. I'm now interested in what's going on.
Okay.
No, I'm not. But I identify more with that character in that one moment than any other show this week.
Al, I don't think I've ever heard you laugh this hard.
Same.
It's just like falling apart.
I don't know what's happening. I'm sleep deprived. I've been watching stupid shows. I don't know what's happening to me.
No, he has laughed this hard on the show. He has laughed this hard on the channel before. When we did Doki Doki Literature Club Plus years ago, we named our audience characters Sim, and Gav said, "Oh, Sim," and that broke Al for a good 5 minutes.
Yeah, go back and look at those. Doki Doki Literature Club. Those are some good videos.
I think I'm really lost in space.
Yin, get us back on track.
I already told you.
Okay.
It's a sweep. I said my piece.
Jimmy?
The characters from Defense Club are stupid, and I still love them to a certain extent, but Shugo Chara's characters are more interesting, so there.
Okay. Shugo Chara takes characters. Moving on. Cece, who gets your world building?
A moment.
I don't need a moment. We gotta get through this.
Sorry, I could not tell you were talking to DoReMi. World building. Yeah, Shugo Chara.
I'm still definitely on a delay. It really helps I have CC live in person. But I'm still a sweep.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting who's a sweep and who's not. So, yeah, no, Shugo Chara, definitely. This is, I mean, there is no world building in Cute High Earth Defense Club love. There's no point to it at all. At all. Okay, so yeah. And then you're a sweep.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, Chibi?
We'll also say Shugo Chara, because there's actually some semblance of stuff going on.
Uh-huh.
Hold up. Chibi, is it a sweep for you?
Pretty much.
Very cool. And Envy's a sweep on that.
so
Okay, so Shugo Chara for
It's
that.
just me and you, Al.
Yeah, cool. All right. Yeah, that's the Shugo Chara will take world building. How about we move over into production? Kozi, you said sweep, correct?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So that's Shugo Chara. I'll say Shugo Chara because apron.
Oh, yeah.
Yin's Shugo Chara.
Bad delay!
Chibity,
Sweep.
chibbity bang bang. What you got?
Sweep.
Sweeping it. Envy, you're sweeping it.
Yes.
I said Defense Club for production.
Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, no.
All right, I'm taking us into final thoughts. Who gets my final thoughts for today? I'm ashamed of myself. I really am, because I don't know what happened or what it was today. I want to keep watching Cute High Earth Defense Club love. Something's wrong with me. And let's see here. We got sweep. Cece, where you at?
Shugo Chara gets my final
Oh, okay.
word.
And a sweep. Yeah. All right. Cool. Sweep. Pretty much a sweep. Shugo Chara moves on. I don't think anyone was expecting them not to, but I honestly I am so baffled what happened that for some reason I gotta go back to look at what the original episode was that we watched this, because I'm genuinely like, whoa. Like, I'm probably in complete agreement with whatever I said before, but I'm also like, God damn it, it's hilarious. Why? What's going on? Hey, Cece, how's the scarf going? Is the scarf going okay?
Sure, it's going great.
Wonderful. I'm happy to hear you say that. That's a fantastic thing. We should talk about it next week. You know what? Someone's going to try to collect that scarf at the end of this tournament. That's a segue. Collect them all too, Electric Boogaloos, next week, along with I Just Can't Wait to Be Queen. All right. 2 to 3 episodes for the following shows coming up next week. Episodes 2 and 3 of Cardcaptor Sakura. I got the better dub.
Yay.
No, wait, never mind. No, I didn't. That's Sailor Moon. I found the other dub for Sailor Moon. That's the one that I found. We're still doing the one from Cardcaptor Sakura. Too bad for you. You didn't tell me to change it in time.
Okay.
Cardcaptor Sakura versus Saint Tail. And Sugar Rune versus Pre-Tier. It's a thing that we're doing. I'm out of energy. I've died. I'm dead. I have to wake up and go to court tomorrow. I will see you guys at some point. Tune in.
That's part of his job, by the way. It's
Shut up.
Not
I'm cutting out everything you're saying.
Good night.
Goodbye, everybody.
Night.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoy this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!